welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are... Welcome to the EST Hangout on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola, Reid Wilkins, and the man, the myth, the legend. Lieutenant Eric. Oh, just a great ensemble today. The Hangout brought to you by Sentinel Storage. Great to be here on this Friday. Hope you're having a good one. You guys, I mean, that segment with the guy from Toolshed was outstanding.
Yeah, Graham Sherman. He was electric. It's great on a Friday to have a guy, and we played him in with a little mastercraft. It got the mood going. Of course, World Series Game 1 today. How could you not? Weather's still pretty good today. I think
Lovely
it'll be a little cloudy, but it'll be nice and warm and crisp. So everybody's feeling pretty good.
Oilers win a crazy one last night.
That's too, yeah.
World Series begins tonight. Toronto's team in action against LA. Many Canadian fans across this fantastic country, and all eyes will be glued on that. Elks also in action, wrapping up their 2025 season. Reid has brought his notes, lots to decipher when it comes to last night's game. He's reviewed some things we've already discussed as I was preparing. Awanek is away with Jay. They are at the Chamber of Commerce event that is happening today, as I've learned.
Yeah.
So
they are.
We are
10
members.
to 3, but Jay will be joining my show in progress, and then they're doing the Green and Gold pre- and post-game shows tonight, kickoff and post-game shows.
We have a full slate of content.
Do they
today.
pack a lunch for that commerce meeting?
Yes, they have a brown bag lunch.
Yeah.
Is there a bologna
Bologna
something?
sandwiches.
Yeah.
They have a bologna sandwich, some carrots, and I believe one Oreo cookie each.
Yeah.
Ranch dip.
And
Juice box.
apple juice for Jay, orange
Delicious.
for Matthew.
Yeah.
That's
Why
these aren't
orange?
notes about the game. This is your names, so I remember. And also, so where do I look?
You look
Yeah, where
down.
the camera
Is this
is.
my
Do
mic?
not make eye contact
Is
with either one of us.
Is this my mic or which one of my? Hello.
You don't have one. Yours is actually off.
Well, that probably. Sure, a lot of people would like that.
No. You were great last night on the post-game show as well. Just as like Reid and Rick are going to be here for hour number 1. DVD from NHL.com is here. He's doing a couple of interviews right now in our conference room. And then he's going to slide in for hour number 2. So will Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
DNB.
so it's like a revolving door. It is a true
Just
hangout.
1 hour.
Just 1 hour, yeah. And
We're
thank
only
you.
doing an hour.
Oh, I thought it was.
That's enough.
Okay.
That's a lot of radio. Yeah, you've been busy, busy boy. I felt so bad. So thank you for doing this today, guys. Appreciate it. Where do you want to start? I mean, you want to start with last night's game, or do you want to start with World Series?
Chargers, Vikings, hey, yeah.
How about
I've been watching.
Jay's
I've
play of the
watched
day.
so little NFL the last 2 weeks with the Blue Jays playing games and hockey going again.
Takes a back seat.
Yeah.
Especially last night's. I mean,
Well, let's just start with the hockey game. Text us 780-218-9999.
Are you monitoring the text line? Okay, because I'm not looking at it. Okay,
I can for
I
you,
can look
I'll
at the
monitor
nasty
it.
chat a bit, guys.
yeah, I'll go in the nasty chat.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
mind
Rick's
that.
got the
I don't
nasty
mind-
chat.
Okay,
I've
you got the text line.
I've got the text line. You
Somebody-
just be you.
Email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Send in limericks.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
could do a morning
That's not
limerick.
bad, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A morning limerick for you.
You were a spicy boy last night, and I liked it.
Was about what?
No, just in general. I like it when
Well, I
you're
just
spicy.
talk.
Why are you yelling at me?
Well,
Spicy.
I didn't feel
eh?
like I was spicy.
You weren't. You were just good.
I don't know, maybe I was.
okay.
I think the Oilers are highly flawed.
Sure.
Flawed to the point that
why people love them.
I'm concerned about. Sometimes I feel concerned if they're a playoff team. I hate to say that because I think.
Who are you, Shaggy in St. Albert
No,
right now?
I just think they have. Okay, there's a difference
Sorry,
between not playing well and not having players who can play as well as you need to play. And I worry that they don't have specifically the forwards to play well enough.
Yet.
Well, okay, there are some younger guys.
I didn't want to go
There
on.
are a couple of younger guys, or I think there are some players who are who they are and are playing their roles. You know, Philp's playing quite well.
I would
You know,
agree.
but he is who he is. So, I mean, he's been a positive for the team. But, if he's doing his job, then other players need to do their jobs better. Are they capable of doing it? I seriously have that question about the forwards. The D, Nurse and Bouchard can and will play better, I think, because I think they've proven that they have.
Yeah.
Wallman has clearly been a good addition, even though, I mean, they all messed up defending last night in one way or another. and the Canadians are good.
Yeah.
But Wallman's clearly helped. I mean, he got an overtime goal, and he kept the puck. I went back and watched some of the game when I got home. He kept the puck right on the blue line for the Podkolzin goal.
Yes, he did.
He didn't exactly get a great pass. I think it was Savoy. I think all 5 guys touched the puck. I think it went. Didn't it go
the outside,
Draisaitl,
right?
Savoy,
Yeah.
Wallman, Nurse, Podkolzin. And the goaltenders have actually been fine, above average, if not very good. So I'm a little worried about their offensive tempo, their ability to generate chances, their ability to sustain in the offensive zone. Now, maybe it'll come along. Maybe it'll come along with some gelling and experience. But I've seen enough of it this year where I'm a little worried about that part of the game. Now, the flip side of it is that was just a hell of a game to watch. I mean, it's just absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Entertainment value through the
Canadian
roof.
classic.
Yeah. Well said, sir.
The cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The great cigarette.
They should have like an NHL game called the Canadian Classic.
Yeah, it was an affordable cigarette. Like,
Right,
It
king
smoked
size.
decent, but it was pretty affordable. A price
Filtered,
point.
non-filtered.
Yeah.
Did they have a Slim 100 option? I don't recall. Yeah. Now, you were doing Chargers Vikings yesterday at Sully's.
We had that on, and we
But-
also had the Oilers, and we also had the Hartford Quebec game on as well. On a one
I've got time
TV
for that.
screen.
Although he had some salty things to say
Well, so
about
did
it
Will.
in jest.
Will said it was stolen valor.
Stolen valor.
And I do come around to what he's thinking there with those two markets. And then having on the score bug Hartford and Quebec.
Yeah.
I mean, they're Carolina and Colorado, and that's fine. They're wearing the throw, whatever, owing to the old markets. But I don't know. Visually, the jerseys popped, which was
beautiful.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
in high definition, I mean, it was great. But
Didn't they do like a little bit where they had like star wipes and then they had like the grainy, the 90s, 80s look too at one point? I was watching the highlights last night and I'm like, are they making this, like, are they dumbing down the quality of the video?
touch, yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking a Canadian classic with a bit of haze in
King
front
size.
of this. Yeah, king size. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. The game, the Oilers Habs. I mean, it was up and down. It was. I called it a swingers club today on the show.
Oh,
Well, that's good. Yeah,
because of the swings in the game.
yeah, there
fitting.
were a lot. Certainly were.
Yeah. But I mean, that's nice too. The overtime win in Ottawa, they got the win. They come home. People are still unsatisfied with the general play, and like
Yeah.
you pointed
they had
out,
a bad week before.
and I
that.
think you can also pick apart things as you did. And again, they're not the finished project. But winning to cap a road trip in overtime like they did, and then last night when it's like a, I don't know, not a 50-50, but you know what I mean? There's a lot of red and white in the crowd and everything such as that. It's nice to, in that type of atmosphere, get a win over another Canadian club in the high-flying fashion that it was. I mean, it's an entertaining game. You get the 2 points, you move on. I understand completely where you're coming from. But I know Penner's Pancakes and a few others with the,
Well,
playoff,
I think
with the
they-
playoff team shout. Like, they'll be fine.
I think they will make.
Yeah.
I think they will make the playoffs. But I have more concerns than I thought I would
Fair.
this far into the season.
we are 10%
But I mean-
in, as you've alluded to a couple
Right,
of
and
times.
American Thanksgiving looms.
It does.
Oh yeah, I hate that stuff. But I did. Like, I picked them for 98 points,
Yeah.
which is
in the mix.
depending on the year. I
You
mean,
need a
you will
100
get
point
in,
season,
but,
basically.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fine. I mean, the Flames got to 96 last year,
And they
did not the
missed.
Florida Panthers also have 96?
They had 99, I think.
No, I think the Oilers had 101.
Yeah.
But did Florida have a? Oh no, the Flames
Had 96.
would have made the playoffs in the East. Is that what it was?
I believe you're right, and they lost the
can't-
tiebreak to St. Louis. They both had
Right,
96.
maybe
St.
that's
Louis
what I
got
was
the
thinking of.
tiebreak. Yeah.
So I mean, the Oilers, even though they're a playoff team, or if you think they're a playoff team, I just wonder if it might come down to later in the season to them clinching this season. No, we'll see. I know I'm projecting further ahead, but I just think there are some areas up front where I'm like, what does this guy do?
That's a great question.
And then I don't,
in regard
for
to
the
a
first
bunch of those
time,
guys.
really for the first time, I strongly disagree with some of Knobloch's deployment. I do not think Leon and Connor should kill penalties, especially
I'm with you.
Connor. I mean, Leon, I think at least
Yeah,
understands.
would you have one? Would you be okay with?
If I had one, it'd be Leon.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because if Connor's on the ice, he wants to score. So
He's gotten burnt doing that many times. in his
right,
career.
and like I keep saying, now there are players who thought they were going to be penalty killers, who were playing 13 nights, who thought, okay, I'll play about 12 or 13. And it's like, well, now I got to play 10.
Yeah. Mhm.
So the guy that already plays 23 can play 26 and get my penalty killing time. So now again, I don't know if that's a problem. I mean, it was clearly a problem with the player who's not on the team anymore.
Was he a former University of Alberta
Yes,
Golden
and
Bear
that was
by
under,
any chance?
that was under Tippett. Derek Ryan kind of took that swipe at
I know.
the coach for. So anyway, but maybe I'm being a little too negative about it. But
Well, you've been called I want to get this correct, your Rip City Step, a gloomy Gus.
well, that's fine. I mean, I can only tell you what I see.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
all, and I'm wrong plenty of times.
Not in my eyes.
But here's again, and I don't want to be like, oh, Reed's singling. It's a team game, and Reed's singling out certain players, because I'm careful about doing that, because then, there's not our listeners, I don't think, but then there are some people out there who will cherry pick comments by media members and say he's running people out of town.
Yep, yeah.
That's not what I'm doing, but I can only tell you what I see. Trent Frederick has not had an impact.
Correct.
Jack Roslovic has not had an impact.
Correct.
Okay, so, and then again, I think there are some other players who are probably doing their thing, but they might not have the skill or the creativity to, fully replace, Corey Perry, or what Fogle brought a couple years ago, or what Kane could bring when he was at his high end. So maybe we have to let some players grow into those roles, or find those roles. But that's just what I'm seeing right now.
There's a lot to be desired right now.
Yes, that's not unfair at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
Not at all. And supersized Indiana Jones' his best start in
It is.
but record
low,
aside,
but
I
true.
just stylistically, if you're watching, you can't argue in the point to which you're bringing up. It leaves you wanting more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for example, here's this text that comes in. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999 or 9999, as you guys were saying earlier today, which I thought I kicked. Nine. Yeah. Is Will still yelling right now?
Oh, he sticks around for
I know.
5 hours.
I know. He's going to go for a run around the block or something in those tight pants. Boosh, this text says, Boosh will be better and will be a world beater come playoffs. Sadly, Nurse is what he is. He's so bad. His icings will put me in an early grave. Those two guys have been singled out, and rightly so. They've had struggles to start there.
Yep.
Bouchard, my goodness, on that New Hook goal was atrocious. I think that's a microcosm of his season. Nurse has not played well this season. He is capable of better. We saw it last year during the regular season. Playoffs, his game took a bit of a dip, but those are two veteran defensemen that should be better. And there's a lot of time, even though we're 10% of the way through the season, for those guys to improve their game and wake up or whatever you want
could
to call
probably
it.
replay stuff I said about Bouchard from this time last year. It's just
And the year
the
before, and the
frustrating
year
thing
before,
is
and the year before. Yeah.
is the firmness in his game.
What firmness?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That there's no. I mean, New Hook just kind of shoves him out of the way and turns around and scores on the rebound or whatever.
then draws a
That was
penalty.
11, and then slashes him after the fact.
Right.
And even when he gives the puck away or there's a turnover, there's no I better hustle back. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm getting back, skating back. What's going on? Oh, he scored.
Is that exactly what's going on in his mind? Because that feels like you're
that's
pretty
what it
accurate.
feels
I could, yeah.
Yeah, you giggled too.
No,
I was like, that
you're
was
right
good.
there. Yeah, bang on. I mean, that's the type
Kind
of
of
thing.
nailed it there.
Nurse can play better. Nurse, here's the thing with Nurse. Somebody brought up the icings. I think now, I hope no one is still thinking he's going to be a very good offensive defenseman. So he needs to make the simple passes up the ice, which I guess he hasn't been doing. I mean, we know what he's like in the O-zone. He's going to try to make a pass or two. He'll go down the left wing wall and throw a wrister on net. Once or twice a year, he'll score. So then he thinks he has to keep doing it, whereas really it's not the most effective play. I get it. I'm not debating Nurse's contract with anybody anymore. If you're still upset about that,
no,
It's not going to go anywhere good
let's
if you try.
Try and think about happy things in your life.
Sure.
But yeah, he can play better. I mean, I think probably all the defensemen can play better.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two guys you expect more from, and they'll probably get it. But I just wish they weren't putting that much strain on their goaltenders almost every game.
Oh, they can handle it though.
Well, so far
They have been.
Just
I mean,
worry,
Which is
eventually.
but yeah.
Pickard's numbers weren't great last night, but he was great,
Yes.
right? 5 goals allowed on, I think it was 27 shots, if I recall correctly.
Which is, I
great
don't know what your
numbers.
level of surprise is there with that, given the off-season chatter and the
Right.
doom and gloom surrounding that position, right?
But he made so many good saves. LTE.
Here we are.
Here we are. He's got a win under his belt. His GAA goes up, save percentage goes down.
Yeah.
but he might have been. You said it last
So
night.
you won.
He should have been a star.
I think he probably should have been a star.
He made some beautiful saves, especially on Nick Suzuki. 3 of them I noted. There's some other ones that I probably missed.
As opposed to his counterpart on the other end in Montembeau, who
Awful.
did not look. I mean,
He's not the number one. He lost his job to that Dobesh.
He made some good saves too, though, I thought.
And
but didn't look. I would say, is what you want over a full 6. I don't know. Do you guys read into any sort of thing where? It's the second half, back to back. They played a little overtime, not a whole lot in the win in Calgary.
usually I
mean,
would, Rick, but they were buzzing like all night long.
Yes.
And they were creating opportunities.
They're a
getting
fun,
chances.
feisty, sexy team.
I like that. Fun, feisty, sexy team.
It was very fun to watch the Oilers go up against them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We were talking about it too, and I don't know if you want to sashay into this area of the game with the calls and everything, but Will and I talked about it today, and the Oilers were in that position at one point in time where you have to kind of, it's like a members club, the NHL. You have to buy your way in. You have to take your lumps. You have to suffer through some things, and you learn on the fly. It's funny that Josh Anderson, a veteran though, would be the victim of that circumstance there, and
He went above and beyond and out of his way to be a jerk to the ref and show him up.
Do we know what was said aside from the stick action? I mean, was there a full quote that was recorded?
I hope
word
so.
for word.
But the refs are, depending on which one you get, they have their egos that they get bruised and they get offended. And
But you're not taking this from a fun, feisty, sexy team. You'd be more. From a veteran savvy, been there, done. Okay, then there'd be more of a chance for a ref to maybe plug the ear or turn the head as opposed to a young upstart, that type of thing. That's kind of how the NHL
totally
and maybe most leagues operate.
If Erik Karlsson, I'm going to take a random player, went and did that to a ref, he'd probably get a warning and not thrown into the box with the misconduct.
If Josh Anderson's been in the league a long
That's
time.
what I'm saying. But the team he represents is.
It's one thing. There's clout, for lack of a better term, with the Habs, obviously, but they're also a young team. So maybe even though he's been around, he doesn't get maybe he has a reputation too.
But I also thought too, and I just wish that this would happen more in hockey, is where, if you're on the wrong side of the whatever you think in Martin St. Louis' position or whatever, come out post game and really lay it on thick. I thought the officials were incredible. We all know your actual thoughts, but you don't need to say it. Why shoot your load off here, however many games into the season, and now putting yourself directly behind that 8 ball for a long season to go, and
play the long game.
You actually are going to be, and do it with a bit of snide and a bit of smirk and a bit of, everybody knows what you're thinking, but you're not saying it. You can't really step in any mud with that. And I think it would lend to a lot of, I know the dress code's a lot relaxed now, but I would just like to see a coach come out and say, you know what, I think that was the best damn game of officiating I've ever seen.
Great calls.
When you get totally, screwed or whatever the perceived action is against you. But
that's brilliant and
love
ironic.
To hear it.
Well, I thought the refereeing was worse in Ottawa.
Really?
Yes.
And this is not a one-sided thing. Or is this both sides, or is this kind of...
It would probably help the Oilers in Ottawa if it helped any team. I went back and watched some of the penalties. So the power plays were 1-1 until late in the second period. The Matheson interference penalty on Mangiapane was a weird call.
It was.
Slavkovsky boarding penalty, when that was called in the rink, I thought he was getting called for holding. And then I watched it last night after I was on with you, and the way the ref was standing, Slavkovsky was right between him and Emberson. So I think it looked worse than it was.
Okay.
And he did push him from behind into the boards as Emberson was going down.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't get called all the time, and it could have been more violent. So the Canadians were probably unhappy about that one.
Okay.
Matheson was guilty of tripping. So now the power plays are 4-1. One of them was an outright bad call. One of them was probably debatable. Okay. So now the power plays are 4-1. And then Anderson takes the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So part of the reasons the power plays were 5-1 was because Anderson got a penalty arguing that they shouldn't have been 4-1.
Correct.
When I saw what Anderson did, that should be called. And if an Oiler did it, I would say the same thing. You can't show up the ref. And we've talked to enough former NHLers. that they would tell you the same thing. You can't show up the ref. You can usually say almost anything, but you can't
physically.
You can't show them up. You can't be overly demonstrative. So Anderson does that, and it's a crazy, wacky, emotional game. And the ref, I don't even know which ref called it, if it was Rank or Schlenker, is thinking, okay, like you can't do that. You can't slap your stick at me across the ice.
And it was an extended tap. Like he probably skated about 10 feet and kept doing it.
Yeah.
Was yelling at him.
Yeah. If he would have yelled out, great blank and call,
Probably nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think he got it for the applauding with the stick along the ice. And then
Did he shoot the puck out of the net too?
Yeah, but it wasn't that bad.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think so.
But I didn't think it was that bad.
But he kind of went on a temper tantrum and
So here's the
eventually
thing:
cost him.
the Canadians can complain about it. Canadians fans can complain about it. I get it, but don't give the ref a chance to call a penalty.
Rules on the street. You're right. Everybody knows that, but we can still say it's soft.
I don't think it's soft. I think it's 100% unsportsmanlike conduct.
Okay.
That's a penalty.
Fair
you
enough.
Can't do that to an official.
I usually don't take the ref side, as has been well documented on this program and several others. But yeah, that went beyond, and he really went out of his way to tell the ref how he felt. So I agree with you.
Like, remember the McDavid scoring on a shootout and then go upstairs?
Go look, yeah.
He got a 10-minute misconduct. Now, it
Right.
was in a shootout, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But I think it's because he gestured.
Yes.
If he probably just would have yelled, was that one in? And skated off?
Yeah.
Maybe the ref doesn't do anything, but because he's going, hey, go upstairs, the ref's like, hey, you're showing me up.
It communicates to the
physically-
audience.
You're acting out
Yeah.
in a way that shows you're being disrespectful.
Now, his timing in that was smarter than Josh Anderson's. Like, Josh
Yes.
Anderson should know better, even though the game was slipping away for his team.
Yeah.
You were still in it, and then you cost them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Canadians still had the lead.
Yeah.
Like, why take the penalty? Why give the ref a chance to call something?
Maybe because they're young, upstart, and rambunctious.
Well, but
But come on.
future Oiler Josh Anderson isn't though.
Hey. Justin Danforth first, please. All right, let's get to some text. Nate the Builder saying, I worry about Frederick first and foremost. He's been invisible. 2 and 25 have been plain old awful, but should get better. Goaltending has been good, and that is perhaps the biggest positive. This team needs 18 desperately, Zach Hyman.
Well, that's true.
I think they'll be okay, but another disappointing start. 4-3-1 so far. Who pointed it out? It was their best start. It was
Supersized Indiana
yeah,
Jones.
that was Big Uke, and he's right. I mean, the bar isn't very high,
Yeah,
but that is true. It is their best start in a couple of years. Here's a love letter to Chris Knobloch. Dear Mr. Knobloch, we are obliged to submit our formal request for you to put on some pants and start holding your non-performing players accountable for their on-ice play. This request includes, but is not limited to, players who may or may not be known as Evan and or Darnell, whose behavior in said manner appears to be quote-unquote above such repercussions. Best regards, anyone who watched last night's game. Great text.
I like the mail form. I like
very
the
formal.
mailbag.
I
Tom's
appreciate
mailbag.
that.
This should
like
be a
that?
thing on the Hangout.
We could
You should
do
move
that.
it. Sponsor
Sponsor
it.
it.
Yeah.
Now we're thinking.
Yeah. Canada Post.
Yes, Reid?
He's back to the sheet.
Okay, reference the sheet.
Well, Leon and Connor are never going to get their ice time cut. I mean, he pseudo benched Leon against the Flyers last year for 2 shifts.
Yeah.
Bouchard actually played a little yesterday, 21-47.
And he was taken off the first power play in Ottawa, if I recall, or a couple games ago.
At the end of the game, didn't they put somebody else out?
I think it was Wallman.
No, Wallman wasn't back. They put Nurse
Or
out.
Nurse, yes, that's right.
The Bouchard one is interesting to me, and I actually think possible because of Wallman. Because Wallman can pretty much do what Bouchard can do.
Yes.
Generally.
Yes.
So he can pass, he can man the point, and he can shoot really hard. And
I would even make the case that he could probably do everything Evan Bouchard does.
I'm with you.
yeah,
Maybe
does he
he's not
shoot as
lauded
hard?
for
I
his
don't know,
shot
but
in the one time.
Maybe his nifty
Yeah,
puck handling isn't quite as good.
sure, but he's competent.
But that's
more
the
than-
one. But that's the one where I would say Knobloch could step up and put Wallman on the. If Bouchard's having a bad game, like actually put Wallman out. Like I was talking about this with Jay on my show, I think last week. I was like, okay, Evan, Like, sorry, you don't get playtime. You don't get maybe some free apples on the power play because you're goofing around 5-on-5. Wallman's going out there. Now, at the time, they didn't have Wallman. But that's one where I wonder if we could see Knobloch do that. Yeah, I mean, I ice time's the big currency, right? But I don't. He's probably not going to cut 97 and 29's ice time. And with defensemen, it's interesting because there's only 6 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get the frustration with Bush, but you're not going to play Ty Emberson more or Troy Stetcher when they're in the lineup. At least I wouldn't.
No.
So I also understand why he keeps putting those guys out there. But yeah, sometimes you wish that they would just kind of pull Bush aside and be like, hey, do you understand why you're missing a shift? Like, you're not getting to play when you usually play. Do you know what's going on here?
I think I did like a positive reinforcement little skit in the post-game show last night where I was Chris. I was like, now, Evan, I'm very proud of you. You do a good job, but I would like to ask you to please don't do that anymore. The toe drag at the red line on the power play, I just make a pass. There's someone going to be open for you.
This is a great way of handling it.
Yeah.
The positive reinforcement on him, I can get behind.
This is just a small snippet. You're great at what you do. You're a big boy. I'm very happy that you're on my team. Go get him, Tiger. And listen, it's totally facetious, but you watch him and what did you call it? What did you call it, Reid? That he has no strength in his game, or not strength, that's not the right term.
With Bush?
Yeah.
What did I call it? This year or last year?
Like, it's toughness, essentially.
Sturdiness? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Anyway, it's just...
I've been using the word gumption a lot lately.
Gumption's a good one.
That would fit.
Yeah, you have broad vernacular. I'm very impressed. All right, lots of text to get to. 780-218-9999. This is the EST Hangout. Todd Gazzola, Lieutenant Eric, and Reid Wilkins with you. The boys will be here for the first hour. Then Derek Van Diest and Daniel Nugent-Bowman will slide in for hour number 2. Portions of this hour brought to you by our good friends over at the Hive Product Marketing. Feel the buzz at the Hive. thehiveproductmarketing.ca. Call Chelsea or Brett. They're fantastic. If you need any type of merchandising, they are amazing. Thousands of items in their catalog, and they can help you get the right stuff out branding-wise. Visit thehiveproductmarketing.ca. Do you want me to read a few texts before we go into the Blue Jays?
I would love it if you did
emails
that.
come in? Any emails?
This is a fun
I don't know.
game
He's
to talk-
checking.
I got a
monitoring
limerick.
emails.
I did get a
No,
limerick.
you get a limerick.
You
This
actually
is
got a
fun-
limerick?
Yes, this is a fun game to talk about, though. So I
It is.
want to
It
know
was
what I want to know what people are thinking. It's
The
interesting.
entertainment value was through the roof yesterday. It was high event.
Well, Maxley Consulting 9039 on the nasty chat. Living in Asia, this was my first game at Rogers. I listen to EST daily.
Nice.
Watch most of the games, but such a great night last night, and people are agreeing there. A good one to kind of plan your trip around, I guess.
Absolutely.
You can't pick which ones, the results especially, but he follows it up, he or she. Thanks for all you gents do at EST. So
Thank
glad
you.
you enjoyed it last night.
From Asia, thank you. Appreciate that so much. Hontorio Moms. Hey, good to hear from Hontorio Moms. Says, Nurse is one of the most odd players where he's not usually very good in the offensive zone. He's not going to be defensive zone-wise, but he's good between the blue lines, just carrying the puck up. Maybe he should just stand at center. And if Kane does that to the ref, giving the same penalty. Yeah, if Evander Kane did
That's
that.
a good point, yeah.
He absolutely would. Collingwood Rob says, hey, boys, you're right. Knobloch needs to give more ice time to Howard, Savoy, Philp, and Wallman because they are at least playing hungry. Stop double shifting the big guns. Their shifts are already long. Keep the damn lines together. Let them gel. Last night, I really felt that was a loss, but somehow the Oilers got the W. This one from Paulie Deuce says, even as an Oilers fan and former referee, I thought the officiating was absolutely awful last night. What was called compared to what wasn't was so inconsistent. I really don't blame the Canadiens for being upset about the officiating. And then this one says, did you guys see Ryan Whitney's post? He's not wrong being a Rangers fan. They do get the calls.
I did not see your
I did
Whitney's
not.
post.
I did not.
Apologize.
I neither.
And I'm not going to watch it after the show. I'm going to be honest with whoever wrote that. I'm sorry.
Holy.
Well, we have so
You're
much
a
time
busy
in the
boy.
day. We have
Spicy,
so much
isn't it?
time in the
Yeah,
day.
spicy.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't
yeah.
watch everything everybody tells me to watch.
You don't have to yell at us.
Well,
I'm not
we're
yelling.
saying it.
We're your friends and colleagues.
Messenger
yelling,
here.
just say,
Yeah, thank you. Ouch.
Ow, yeah.
Well, I just want that person to know who I love. That if they're like in a week, they're like, did you watch the Ryan Whitney clip? I would be no. So I just want to tell them.
Yes,
I'm not going to bother
your
watching.
future plan. What about the limerick here? Let me get the limerick here. What do you?
And then really quickly, this is for you before you get to this limerick, which I'm looking forward to. Jordan says, does Reid enjoy me continuing the Japanese Village bit on Twitter after every Oilers win with the 5+ goals scored?
Yes.
Is that the Japanese Village goal light?
I would tweet out Japanese Village Goal Light and a link to the Ched website where you could print up the coupon for the free appetizer.
I love that.
I think Japanese Village would be better served with us at EST. Great spot.
I don't even know if they're on that show
I don't know.
because I don't listen to
I
it.
kind of don't have. I'm on at the same time, I believe.
Same with me.
Yeah.
I love eating there.
It is
So-
it's so much fun.
Yeah, carnival atmosphere.
Delicious.
I wouldn't have said this while I was working at my previous job, but apparently the coupon was for an appetizer under $15, and there were like only 2 or 3 on the menu.
No.
Yeah. So
Some
it got
edamames?
A bowl of rice.
So it got activated.
Sticky rice.
Yeah, it got activated, and then you had 24 hours to print up your coupon. Yeah.
That's a
But
tough one.
I don't know if they still do it. I don't know what Escott does with it, if he does anything on social
Saw
media.
Scott
but-
yesterday.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a really good guy.
It's always the fine print though with those.
Yeah. Now, like the Elks had 3+ touchdowns last week. Carl's Jr. had a free Carl's Jr. burger that you could redeem through the Elks app.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I've been
Now,
using
that
those
was good.
Popeyes coupons for when they scored 30 or more points.
Those are good.
They give
too.
those out. I had
Well, you
lunch on
love
one yesterday.
Popeye. You're a
I'm out of
fiend for
coupon.
it.
They better score 30 tonight.
I hope they do for you. We can't let you go hungry.
I hope they ring up the stamps. Like, I know a lot of people aren't caring about this game, but I hope this isn't a mail it in game.
Yeah, I
I hope
hope
they
so
go and say
too.
we want to win more than last year and win another home game and all that kind of stuff.
You got a limerick that you want to?
From the Big Uke,
All right, here we go.
a trio of studs on the hangout today. A Wannock out shaking hands with glue guy Jay. Jay's in the ship. Hooray, hip, hip. Do you know the man who lives on Drury Way? I do not. What's that a
It's a
reference
bit of a
to?
question here. Is,
Man on the High
is this
Castle?
a riddle?
Man, is that not a TV program?
Yeah, I don't know why I picked that of all the shows. I didn't even watch it.
Yeah. I think I watched a bit of it. You got another one?
No, I'm looking in the nasty chat now. Sorry,
Oh.
I changed my focus quite quickly, Tom.
That's okay. I forgive you.
So to the person who said, don't change the lines, let me play devil's advocate. Why keep the lines the same if they're not generating any offense? So what if let's look at this. I mean, I know I'm going to be a little bit difficult with everybody here, but bear with me. So we talk a lot about the Oilers, and of course we talk a lot about the Elks on this station.
We do.
And we converse with a lot of the same people who care about both teams.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if the person who wrote in that text about Knobloch is also an Elks fan, but what have we got most of the year? Why doesn't Max Simic change? Why doesn't he call more plays? Why do they keep calling the same plays? Do something else with Rankin. Get him the ball some other way. And then the coach of the hockey team changes things as soon as he senses something isn't working. And then we get asked, why is he changing stuff? Just stick with it. Just stick with something and keep trying it. What do you want?
I'm fully with you.
What do you want?
Fully with you.
I feel like we're playing whack-a-mole here.
Well,
Like, I know it'd be a little difficult, but tell me, what do you want? What do you want from the coach?
if
I mean,
you're-
you just want the team to win.
if he's doing if he's doing this exercise in April,
Yeah.
I mean that's
He will.
no, but okay,
Well,
but
he does.
you do it now in the fashion that he's been doing it to kind of find out what's going on. And then again, to your point, if it's not working, I mean, the insanity definition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Now, I will say there have been games where I'm like, why doesn't he at least give the lines a period that he started with?
totally valid.
Like, if you're going to give Savoy a chance there, well, give him a chance. Or even Frederick, for that matter, was off that line pretty quick. Though by now, I think you got to recognize he shouldn't be on that line.
That is fair.
So I both agree with that text, but I'll also challenge the thinking behind it, because it's like, okay, like what do you want? Like,
All.
why did Max
We
Simic-
want it all.
So Rankin got shut
see what
down
you did
twice on a play. Why do they keep calling it? Well, because they think it'll work. Because they've practiced it.
Yeah.
They think it'll work. So they're trusting that he's gonna break
Player
one
execution.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait till Frederick's healthy, though. Hey.
Yes.
Chemo
I
else,
see
that's
what
the
you-
thing.
I see what you did there too. I like him planting that seed in training camp by saying, it's still not 100% there. I was like, are you preemptively making an excuse for yourself?
A reason.
Yeah. And I was like, it's kind of an odd thing. Or is it seriously that bad 4 months later?
Somebody pointed out today, either in the inbox or the nasty chat, that maybe it's a mental thing too, and coming off. I mean, whatever.
Maybe,
I don't know. I'm not going to start sitting here making reasons and/or excuses for him, but it's just that's one player that I think we can all collectively get behind and say,
more, please.
yeah, or no bueno, as you usually
No bueno.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a good one.
more please though.
Your Spanish is coming along.
Duolingo. Will lent me his app. I get it on the odd days. He keeps it on the even.
So good. There is a question for you specifically, LTE.
Me?
Yeah. Says, LTE, how are you feeling about the Riders come playoffs?
Oh, we're not talking.
Before we go into the Blue
we
Jays.
haven't touched Jays yet here.
And we're going to get into Blue Jays, but really quick, I
more
want
of
to
a-
slide that one in because you're here for another 10 more minutes.
How do I feel?
Yeah.
I feel that I'm going to watch my cousin's daughter get married on the day of the West Final. So I'll be at a wedding watching the West Final on a phone, I would assume,
Yep.
or an iPad if I can smuggle it into the reception. So that's how I feel right now. I do not like, to the spirit of the question, I feel the CFL and how it's kind of laid out with the lack of teams and the path to the championship and how the playoffs run. I would rather, if I'm going to get a home gate, almost finish in that second spot. Now, there are certain situations where you could say, well, if you're banged up, you get, and I get that, and rest is good. There's a rest and rust. And I do think this team getting so far out and now clinching as they have, I mean, they took Winnipeg to the brink with their backup and their third string quarterback, and Winnipeg won it on a, trying to, again, get into the playoffs themselves. Yeah. And that was a tight game. So credit there. But I don't feel too confident. I mean, they're a good team. I don't think they're necessarily a great team. And I do feel sometimes with a market such as that, when you're waiting around too long and it all boils down to one important game at home and everybody's paying attention to it and you're under the magnifying glass, that they sometimes will fold under the pressure. So it depends on the opponent they get. I don't think they match up at all great with Calgary. I think the Stamps have out-coordinated them both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball and in both the games this year. BC doesn't necessarily scare me. I understand Nathan Rourke, and he's well worth the price of admission. The offense is a track meet; they fly high. I still won't buy into any Mike Benavides defense right now, and I think it's probably a better matchup from a Riders' point of view. I do wonder too if the Bombers do get the crossover and somehow finagle their way through the East, that a Rider Bomber Grey Cup would be highly fascinating from Winnipeg.
That would be awesome.
I think it'd just be great theater for the league, but. No, I feel good. I don't know if I'm ranking this out of a 10, maybe a 7.5.
Okay.
8.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not tap dancing my way into the West Final and saying, they win one and they're in the championship.
No boot scoot and boogie.
Oh, not yet. Not just yet.
Okay.
But I might at the wedding.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
You get those fancy feet moves going.
Trip the tight elastic, as they say.
Okay. I love it. All right. We've got 10 minutes with the boys here. Derek Van Diest and Daniel Nugent-Bowman will be sliding in for hour number 2 of the Hangout. Tom, Eric, and Reed with you. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. Tonight is game 1 of the World Series. The Jays back in the World Series for the first time since 93.
Canada's team.
That's the Toronto's team that is very well supported by the rest of Canada. Bo Bichette is in for the World Series. We'll see where he ends up playing. Excited, nervous, apathetic.
I'm excited.
More of an Expos guy over there. You're excited?
As am I.
I'm excited.
I like Expos baseball as well. I
wanted to ask you guys about the Expos documentary on Netflix. Did you guys watch it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Fantastic. We can review it.
I want to carve out time.
Is it one part or
One
several
part,
parts?
hour and a half.
Good.
Yeah, maybe
really
I'll try to
well
watch
done.
this weekend.
And a lot of people pointing each other for the blame in the demise of the Expos, which is not shocking. Also, there is an Edmonton tie, and it doesn't come up in the documentary. The Trappers last season in the PCL was the Expos last season in MLB, and they were the Expos affiliate. Trammell Sledge.
Were they the Expos affiliate when they left?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
It
that.
was just like 2 lame duck teams.
Trammell Sledge. That's
Yeah, he
I've
made
heard
it.
that name in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long time.
Okay,
I'm
Jace.
very excited though.
Yeah, okay.
I have no horse in this race, of course. I've said on record, I know a lot of friends and family who are big Blue Jays rooters, and I'm rooting for them. But it is nice, as I said, I folded up my Mariners jersey, put that to bed, and now there's no stress. So I can sit back and watch this without any nerves jangling. However, I am excited for the whole theater of it.
Yeah.
The antagonist, protagonist. The Dodgers have taken the Yankees' mantle of the big, expensive enemy.
They
I
are.
think that's great. Jokes aside, the nation rallies around the Jays when they're in this spot, as they should. Most people. You Savage, great story. You get the call game. Like, I mean, it's going to be tough, but I remember sitting with Dusty, Game 7. We both shook hands and we said, may the best team win tonight. Mariners, Jays, but either of us are going to get clobbered by the Dodgers. Dodgers will take it in 2 or 3. It'll be that quick. But now, given the events of that Game 7,
Yep.
and like I analytics and numbers are a very big thing in sports. I'm more of a romantic. I do like the storylines. I like the vibes. I like the feel. It's very tough to argue against the feeling coming out of that game.
Right.
And now again, positioned up. If they were playing the Brewers, I don't think you get that pop. It's the same as the Yankees series. You had a lot of hatred. You had a lot of storyline behind that. And I think coming out of that Game 7 with the Mariners, the Jays have cultivated a story here
Yep.
to say, why not us? It's a lineup that's very strong up and down. Each guy has got a good story behind the individual. Bichette added. I mean, he had a hell of a year at the plate.
Where will he play?
I don't know how they disperse. I mean, maybe DH or something along those lines.
Right.
But I think now, since Game 7, the confidence has grown. And I think, as it should. If I'm putting down money, which I don't, you'd probably still lean toward the Dodgers with your head. But I think the heart has swelled to a point where you're really questioning, well, who's to say it's not? Now, again, the 2-3-2 is very interesting in a best of 7 because, do you need to get 2 in Toronto to like, I mean, is a
I don't
split
know.
enough?
Okay, you talk about like the romanticism, and I'm all for it. I'm the
Very
same way.
powerful right now.
But Jay and Reed Jay brought up this crazy. Did you hear the stat that Jay brought up the other day? Reed, do you remember it? Do you
Yep.
want to fill us in on it? Because it very much ties into this series.
Since the league championship series went to the best of 7 in 1985, there have been 4 occasions in which a team that swept the championship series was playing a team that went 7 games in
Yes.
the championship series. On all 4 occasions, the team that went 7 won the World Series.
And this going back
crazy?
to my CFL theory as well, I think I like the continuation of playing,
Right.
especially at this stage. And I mean, did the Dodgers, do they need to rest anybody? Did they need to get through that series quick? I mean, they did, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
But does the rest benefit them at all? Like,
Well, you set all your pitching exactly how
yeah,
you
but
wanted, I guess.
the arms, I guess you could argue too. But I don't know. I like where you're going with that number, and I mean that tells a tale. I think. I just the vibes are extremely high, and as they should be. Now, it'll be interesting with the 2 at home. Dodgers
They blew
had
it
to,
last series.
I know,
The 2 at
and
home.
against a Mariners team, which you could say is probably lesser in quality, I guess, to the Dodgers. But the Dodgers had to go through a wild card through the Reds. Like, they are where they are too because they finished where they did. But you should be excited. Confidence, I don't know where that level is at, but
Cautiously optimistic.
very much so.
Yeah. Reed, Rick, you've been very silent during this thing.
Well, because Eric was making very intelligent points.
I was hogging the mic.
No, you weren't.
Is what you meant to say.
No, that was great.
You guys are both very
So I was
gracious
chatting
with
on
one
the-
another.
I
Chatting
love
in the
this
nasty
guy.
chat, too.
People don't know, but we hang out in the bullpen.
Oh,
I know
Prior
you
to
guys
the-
do.
Yeah. We sit next to each other on
quite
the
nice.
same side of the table. I really just.
I think it's great they're in the World Series. I'm excited about it as much as it's possible for me to get excited,
Yeah.
which is minimal.
You're supporting Toronto's team.
I do want the Blue Jays to win. Absolutely. I think they can win. I mean, we had Ben Schulman on yesterday,
No, great guest. By
and
the
he
way.
was like,
Yeah.
they got to beat them 4 times out of 7. Like they got to play a little better than them for 9 days. 7 games in 9 days or whatever it is. So I think it's possible for the Blue Jays to win. I mean, he seemed to think the Dodgers bullpen can be gotten to, just like the Jays can be.
Yep.
And the Jays will probably use a couple starters out of the bullpen, if needed, even more often than they did against against the Mariners. So yeah, I mean, let's go. If baseball's funny, right? It's such a fine line. Home field means less than it does in any other sport, so if the Dodgers split in LA, it's not like, oh no, like how do you possibly win a game at Dodger Stadium? Well, it's quite possible actually.
Well, Game 7, that was friggin' nuts for the Jays.
Well, and I think they do, and I hear what you mean about home field there. But I do think you probably get a better pop in that dome with the Toronto fans and having. I mean, the Dodgers, you can make the case of the been there, done that thing, and it's LA, and it's a big grand state. But I think the Jays, I think they'll enjoy going there as opposed to maybe a Dodgers team that they're not going to be scared of going to Toronto.
Yeah,
but it'll be a little bit more of a, shall we say, rambunctious atmosphere in that dome style setting.
Absolutely.
With the weight of a nation and all this stuff, as opposed to going to LA where it's like, oh, after the ball game you can go to do this and that. Like, it's LA for crying out loud. So, and I think it's Dodger Stadium too. So I think not only for the home team but for a away team going there and playing in a World Series, that's a huge moment that you'll want to take advantage of. So
there was a contrast of the celebrations to clinch the World Series berth between the two teams. I mean, we had like the quasi nightclub in the Jays locker room,
full bottle
clubhouse.
service.
Yeah, full bottle service. And then on the Dodgers side, it was like, nice, good job. Let's go to the World Series and take care of business. And do you make much of that? But it kind of ties into what you
said. Well,
said.
Dodgers fans, they're not going to be as into it.
Exactly.
It's just like how the Braves in the 90s eventually weren't selling out playoff games.
Right.
Because it's like, well, okay, we're in the first round again. We want to win the World Series.
The price of success.
Yeah. I know I got to go because Derek's coming in.
You can do whatever you want.
I got to finish. I got to say something here.
Why?
Okay.
What?
Oh.
The Hartford Whalers jerseys
Yes.
are overrated. This is nostalgia only. Okay. I was around when the Whalers were in the NHL.
Okay.
People made fun of their jerseys all the time. They were considered ugly. The team was mediocre at best. And now
Crappy
there's
arena.
this nostalgia where it's like, oh, that's the greatest jersey of all time. Really? That's the greatest jersey of all time. Why did they change their colors from green to blue then? Nobody remembers that.
I do.
For a couple of years, the Whalers were blue and silver, not green and white, because people were making fun of the green jerseys for being so ugly. Oh, I get it. Oh, look, there's an H in the whale.
Isn't that clever?
H in the tail. Oh, yeah. Great. That's clever, everybody. Look, the nostalgia is cool. They're overrated. They were not popular at the time in the 80s and the 90s. They were made fun of. The team was made fun of. They never made it past the second round until they went to Carolina. If you like them now, fine. But don't tell me there's some
Magic.
forgotten magical thing that people have missed, because they weren't missed because they weren't liked at the time. Okay? Everybody just turn it down just a bit.
I disagree.
The
I love
ghost.
them.
Well, can I just say that the ghost of Peter
Derek
Stojkovic is
disagrees
going to
with me.
haunt you now?
Surprise,
Go ahead,
surprise.
DVD.
I'm just saying, I think they look awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
now
well,
at
yeah.
the time you didn't. When you were 4,
When I was 4, I didn't see the Whalers on TV that much, to be honest. The only time I saw the Whales when they came to town. I know. I agree. No, you made good points. They did change. I remember the blue. They went to blue and the silver. But that happens because jersey sometimes gets stale. But you bring it back and just that green pops out.
Fashion is cyclical, right?
Yeah, like
Isn't it?
it is. Like it pops out. It just looks sharp.
It does
I
pop.
like the white one better than the green one.
I do,
I
too.
do. Like the white one looks sharp. It looks good.
Yeah.
And it's like, so yeah, that's, the jerseys always come back to what they were originally, right? The owners changed their jersey and they said, yeah, it's not working. They came back to what they were originally. So it
As they
always
should
comes
have.
back.
Thoughts
to
on the
what originally-
Nordiques jersey?
Nordiques.
those I like.
Yeah,
Those were always nice.
yeah, white or blue. Yeah, that's
I like the white one in the Nordiques
Yeah,
better than the
yeah.
blue one. But I don't know. I looked at it last night and I was like, ooh, that's a nice jersey.
I am so glad you referenced the Paul Coffey, Keith Primo, Brendan Shanahan era of the Whale.
Yeah.
That-
Thank you, Tom.
with the
Glad
H
somebody.
with the yeah.
It's clever.
Yeah, it is
H
very
in the
clever,
whale.
yeah.
No, what do you think of the jersey? You're a jersey guy. You're always all about
I'm
the jersey.
okay with it. I don't understand the fascination with the Hartford Whalers, but because they were basically like the Columbus Blue Jackets of the NHL back then. It's like, oh yeah, the Whalers are in town.
Yeah.
But a
Who
little
cares?
much on the score bug having Hartford and Quebec.
That was,
I mean,
yeah.
you don't
I
need
mean,
to.
Oh, did
No,
they do? I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
think
they did. Oh, they did. They were
I
full
think
out.
you're going to see a lot of those, more of those games. I think to be, because
Are
now
you
they're
giving
going to
us
sell
some insight?
Well,
That's
now you can sell a bunch of
money
whale
make-
jerseys,
yeah, exactly.
like right,
Oh,
like they
that's
still
true, yeah.
they still
all
sell the
about the
whale
money.
jerseys at the shop. They still
Yeah.
you can buy California Seals jersey. Like it's like the San Jose Harsh Sharks were California Seals. I think
Yeah.
last year.
Those were nice. It was a reverse retro. By the way, just a real nice little tidbit for everybody. There will be a New Jersey program next year for the league wide, from what I understand.
Well, I'm surprised the league NHL hasn't done
You told
what
me that. I'm just
soccer
kidding.
does. Right, soccer has a new kit every year.
Well, you get money. Yeah.
So NHL bring out a new jersey or
Yeah.
just something every
A
year.
little wrinkle on it that, changes
Little
it a
wrinkle
bit,
that
yeah.
changes and things like that. Yeah, they could do that, but I don't know. Like everyone's in soccer, everyone's so excited for the new kit.
Exactly.
I
They're
love
just
it.
so excited. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this season's jersey. Why can't it be
And
that
if you
way
do
in the
something
NHL?
memorable in that season, that kit holds a lot more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do they even
sure.
change the team colors though, or are they all just variations?
No,
of
they
the same
adjust the team colors. Like
They
the
do,
team
eh?
that the team colors are basically the same, but then you'll see Liverpool wear a black jersey every now and then
For the alternate
Yeah,
or the
alternate
Okay.
jerseys. You'll see teams wear different colors, right?
the home's a variation on a theme. You'll have your kind of your color and whatever, but then you'll switch up the neck or the sleeves or the collar or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually it has this new sponsor every year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I liked it. Like there was a lot of buzz to that game last night because of that, right? A lot of people were like, "Wow, look at this. This is pretty."
Sounds
this
like
is
a
pretty
guy who
cool."
works for the league.
I'm just saying, there was a lot of buzz. I wasn't the only one sending out tweets saying this is pretty
I
cool.
know.
A lot of people were saying this is pretty cool. Ryan Whitney was like, this is pretty cool. Like a lot of people were saying, and Ray
Yeah.
Ferraro play on that whale team
He
as well.
certainly did.
Yeah.
He wore
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those big, bulky Cooper helmets.
And I get and this is where I struggle, and people will know this about me if they listen. You're selling something that is not pertinent to the actual performance of the players in the hockey game. Like how I don't know if Derek knows this about me. Like I don't care about halftime shows.
Yeah.
I don't care about the super dogs racing in between.
Why does it always go back to super
Because I did
dogs?
a rant on
He's got
Inside
it,
Sports about it.
Okay.
Really,
Super
that
dogs.
people like
All right.
12 years ago.
Clearly.
So when it's this, it's like, okay, well, let's watch this game because of the jerseys. But it's like, but it's a hockey game.
Yeah.
Or why aren't you watching it? Because
Especially Carolina,
it's
Colorado.
a hockey
Yeah.
game.
You don't need to
But I
sell
get
that
it.
any.
Right.
There's so much competition for eyes.
Yeah.
If that gets 500 people in Hartford to watch a game just to see on
The old
ESPN
school,
or
yeah.
whatever it is. But that would be
I bet you half the province of Quebec tuned into that game last night.
But if they put Quebec on the scoreboard,
They
Oh
did.
yeah, on the bug.
that'd be
yeah,
kind of like a bit of a slap in the face. It's like, well,
again,
it's actually
stolen
not
valor.
us.
Yeah.
It's
Stolen
actually
valor.
not
It's
us.
funny
valid.
though. It's funny because that game came up yesterday. The night before, I saw that documentary on Netflix, like who killed the Montreal Expos.
Great.
I don't
You
know
did
if you
watch
guys
it?
have seen
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Have you guys
No.
seen that yet? So it's kind of funny to see that who killed the Montreal Expos. The next day they bring out the Nordique jerseys. I like the white Nordique jerseys. The thing is about those old school white jerseys is that it wasn't like today where you could see every game from every team. Like for the longest time growing up, I had no idea Colorado had a white jersey when they were back to Colorado Rockies because you never ever
Right.
saw a Colorado Rockies home game. They didn't even have highlights of Colorado Rockies. And I remember first time I saw Colorado Rockies with a white jersey on, it was in a hockey card. I think Lanny McDonald was wearing.
It blew
I was
your
like,
mind,
oh my
right?
god,
Like-
they actually have a white jersey. So it was a different time back then. Like you saw these jerseys. You didn't see them all the time. You saw them every now and then.
Yep.
Saw maybe in the playoffs, and and like Colorado ever made the playoffs back then when they were the Rockies. But I think it just brings back to a simpler time. You look at those jerseys. Oh yeah, it was a simpler time, especially for some of us that grew up in that time.
It's funny
Remember that
from a
era.
Cowboys fan because you guys are the flip, right? Like you wear the whites. Your
much
home
as
whites.
possible.
They wear
Like
the
that-
whites at
that's-
home as much
yeah.
as possible.
I've always
Because
found that a funny.
the whites look way better than the blues do. Like it's for whatever reason.
Well, that's Cowboys.
Yeah,
they
it's
should just
the
wear
Cowboys.
that all the
You
time.
can't-
I mean,
yeah.
regardless.
Well, it's funny because some teams will actually because usually
I
when
love
they go
when
on the
some
road,
teams do that.
Yes.
when they go on the road, some teams
No.
are like, well, we're not going to wear our home
Exactly.
jerseys. We're going to wear our visitor
Yeah,
jerseys
yeah.
because we want to play the Cowboys in blue.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
not the same.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're in some
I
teams'
love
heads
that. I
when
love
they
that.
do that. When
Washington,
when the home team
Philly,
decides, no,
yeah.
we're going to wear our
Yeah,
white
yeah.
roads. So you guys have to wear your blue jerseys. It's kind of funny, but I think the Cowboys are they're trying to change things up. Last week they played the white helmet with the blue star.
Yeah.
So they're obviously it's all marketing. It's all
Yeah.
getting different things, and it's coming.
Money,
it's
making
coming.
money, baby.
New Jersey every year is coming.
Yeah.
You need to step out?
Okay. I think I've annoyed
He's got it
people
prepared
long
for a
enough.
show.
No, you've been great.
No.
DMB is going to be here right in
Yeah.
like a couple minutes. Are you okay for a couple more
I'll
minutes?
do whatever.
You have the lock shop today too, don't you? All right. You're a busy boy.
You're doing lots
I'm
of
so sorry.
Yeah, baby.
I feel so bad. Thank you,
Put
Reid
it in the
Wilkins.
SD folder.
Round
Thanks,
of
Reid.
clicks
Nice
for
seeing
Reid.
you, Derek.
Good seeing you, Reid.
You can catch him on the Reid Wilkins show from 3 to 6.
See you in the bullpen.
Thank you. You're an angel. This is the EST Hangout. Presented by Sentinel Storage, Tom Gazzola, Lieutenant Eric, and Derek Van Diest now from NHL.com. Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic will be joining us, and will allow LTE to slide out as he prepares for the lock shop. which is
Hangout
coming up
debut
for DNB. Yeah, I was like, "Do you want to come in on the show?" I said,
Hell yeah.
there he is. Oh, okay, Rick. Okay, have a good lock shop. Yeah, we're like Merv Griffin on this show. Yeah.
Merv Griffin, everyone's flipping.
Play the
Have a
music.
seat.
Play the music. All right. Big thank you to Lieutenant Eric. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Finnish Long Drink, the pride of 1952. You can get the long drink in local liquor stores, and then it's also available at Rogers Place. Yes, thank you for sitting softly in that chair. Pull that mic up. You got to keep it nice and close. Yeah, even closer, DMB. Oh yeah,
almost
like right
in there,
there.
right?
Yeah, it's
Right in here.
Blame Owanek. He bought these mics. I'm kidding, Owanek, if you're listening. All right, Gazzola, Nugent Bowman, and then Van Diest with you here on the Hangout. Text us 780-218-9999.
What are we talking about in the first hour?
Get
So we don't talk
into
about-
the nasty chat. It doesn't matter. We're resetting the
brought
show.
Oilers up.
We talked about the Oilers, but like we had Reid yelling and complaining, and then Eric
Reid
stirring the pot.
complaining is- that's
I'm
hard to
kidding.
believe.
He was sarcastic for a lot of it. It was a lot of fun, actually, but we can rehash yesterday's game. The theme from last night that we talked about today was high event, high entertainment value, but a lot of issues with this team right now. DMB, we'll start with you because you're making your Hangout debut. Are you concerned? Are you just like, this is them?
Concern. I wouldn't say concern, right? Like they're a pretty veteran team. Like I think they'll figure it out, but it's not. Hasn't been the most, clean start to the season. I would
Definitely
say.
not.
They played 8 games. I think they played one good game. That was a Vancouver game, which they won 3-1, and they probably deserved to win like 6 or 7-1. They were all over the Canucks. They outshot them 3-1. But I was on that road trip, and it was 5 games that were almost identical. Just low event, not a lot of offensive generation, not getting to the middle of the ice. Thankfully, they had a couple good goaltending performances in there that probably saved them a bit.
Yep.
Defensively pretty good. Last night I think was probably their worst defensive game of the year. They're gonna need the team's gonna change when they get Zach Hyman back, I think. And they're going to get another forward at some point in the year. I think this team is in Florida Panthers mode of let's just get in the playoffs. They proved last year home ice doesn't mean a thing.
Right.
They're a veteran group that doesn't get all that riled up about too much. I think they get in and they figure it out from there. The way that they entered the playoffs last year, and especially the way they started the Kings series, I thought they were curtains, and then they won 10 of 11 or 10 of 12, and carried it right to the Cup final. So yeah, it hasn't been a very good start of the year. But like Darnell Nurse said last night, they're still 4-3-1, and there's nowhere to go really but up.
Yeah.
It's the best start they've had in 3 years.
It really has. It is honestly their best start in the last couple of years.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but I think they're still trying to figure things out, right? They're still they're going through all these different line combinations. They do have a bunch of new guys that they're trying to fit in. The concerning thing is defensively. Last night they were a shambles. But I think you have to give credit to the Montreal Canadiens. They have a pretty high powered offense. Those
play
guys
fast.
They play
Super
fast,
fast.
and they transition the puck so fast. That was the Caulfield goal where the Oilers came down, had an opportunity, and bam, it's back of the net, and Caulfield shows some great hands in tight there. So
That was
they
nice.
they can play that quick transition game, kind of in the style of their coach, and I think it's like I said, it's fun to see the Canadians be relevant again, be a good team again. I think it's good for the league. I think it's good for Canadian teams. I think, and it's just fun to watch them play. And as much as people don't like the Canadians, as much as they don't like the Leafs, it's healthy when they're good. it's healthy when they're competitive because I think it just kind of brings everyone up. And it took a while for them to get going. Like after they went to the Cup final in the COVID year, kind of the bottom fell out, and they were expecting to kind of carry that forward. But no, I think you look at them last night, and you're reading the Twitter last night. Hab fans were obviously upset with their goaltending, and
Welcome to Edmonton.
it sounded very similar to what we hear out of here. But Sam Montembeault's had a rough start to the season. He was a guy that's projected to be on the Olympic team, and I think his stock is falling a little bit. He may be losing his number one job.
By all accounts, we had Mitch Gallo on from TSN 690 yesterday on the pregame show, and he's like, he has lost it.
Yeah.
It's dopish as net, apparently. So that's interesting. I want to ask you guys this. A lot of people bringing up Nurse and Bouchard right now. DMB, just what are you seeing from those two?
Yeah, I mean, especially Evan Bouchard, I think his game has gone up and down all year. I mean, he needs to be producing offense. Like that's what he's good at. Is what why he's considered an elite defenseman. Why he's paid like an elite defenseman. And the power play is just starting to get going. Like we saw that in Ottawa, and then last night with two big goals. Even though it looked kind of shaky for the first two or three opportunities, and then it obviously carried them last night. But yeah, he's not getting that shot through a lot, and when it is through, there's not a lot of heat on it that I've seen. And then the defensive errors rather were quite glaring. The Islanders game was very bad. There was one last night that led to kind of a 5-alarm chance late in the first period, where the puck was kind of aerialed in, and he kind of did this backhand. If you remember, I was actually texting with a former NHL video coach, and he said if you watch that puck, it kind of scoots back on him and startles him a little bit. So there's maybe a little bit of leeway there to not criticize him on that play, but still the play, he said, is corral that puck. If you have to, go around the net, like just don't do what he did. There's still a lack of with him. I think it's been a common thing for his whole career in terms of not really recognizing danger and trying to get out of it fast enough or that type of thing, right? And then with Nurse. You're still seeing some of those mistakes, right? These are your two highest paid defensemen. I think collectively the group defensively has played pretty well, but the last little while hasn't been particularly great for either of those players. And they're still working. Like Jake Wellman, that was game 2 for him last night. Even Mattias Ekholm, still working his way back from that injury. And he's 35, and they're probably not going to see the highest end of Mattias Ekholm that we've seen over the past few years, right? So I think we still haven't seen the full cavalry of this defense. If you think Alec Regula is a regular, which I think he probably is at this point as the number 6, we haven't seen that full 6 together yet. When we do, we can, I think, have a more probably real discussion or probably real evaluation of it. But they might need another right-hand defenseman at some point too. So that'll be something that will be monitored, I think, throughout the course of the year, heading toward the deadline.
I've seen a lot of texts come in, pre-game show, post-game show, other shows on our station throughout the week. People saying, wait till Regula gets back. Wait till Regula gets back. And I understand that sentiment. But at the same time, in my mind, there's a part of me going, we're talking about a guy that's played 24 NHL games. He's looked good as an Oiler, 100%. He deserves all the credit for that. But wait till Regula gets back. It's like, yup, I agree with you. But at the same time, there's that little voice going, this guy really hasn't done much in the NHL.
No.
We're putting all that hope on this guy.
Fair,
Yeah. And I think Bouchard is really struggling with not having Paul Coffey on the bench because he comes after
He's
a bad
a hype
shift.
man?
Well, I think Paul Coffey, how many times did you see last year when he'd make a mistake, he'd sit down and Paul Coffey was in his ear, or Paul Coffey was like encouraging him, or Paul Coffey's like, this is what I would do. This, like, I think it's a confidence thing. Now he comes to the bench, and I don't know what the relationship is with the new coaching staff, but it's not Paul Coffey telling you what you're doing.
He was on the road trip. He played terribly.
Well, no,
Paul was on the road trip.
Yeah, but he's not on the bench. He's not there. Like, and I think there's something to that.
Why couldn't Bush see him in the crowd and Paul just look at him and go get it, kid. Go get it, kid.
I don't know.
But to your point,
I'm
Derek,
being silly.
like that Paul Coffey played a very similar style
Yeah.
of game, Devin
Yeah.
Bouchard too, right? So there's some that mentorship and that understanding was there. Yeah,
There was
for
a
sure,
great
for sure.
relationship between the two of them. Like
I'm
there
not
was a really
disagreeing
great,
with that,
really
yeah.
great relationship between them. So I think there's a bit there. I think what I see from Bouchard, and I've always seen it, he plays the game at one speed. It's his speed. There's no urgency in his game really. And you don't see it on the defensive side. You don't see it on the offensive side. And then that's great. When you can slow the game down, it's good. But sometimes you do have to have a little bit of urgency. You do have to be a bit more aware. And I think right now his awareness is lacking. His confidence is lacking. He's not getting the looks that he used to get because people know that he can, they're trying to close him down when he gets the puck. And it's the game's coming, but I honestly think that he's a guy that he has to play with a lot of confidence. And right now, he's not playing with a lot of confidence. And the less confidence you have, the more mistakes you make, the more people get on top of you. And it's a ugly cycle, like when it comes to Bouchard. With Nurse, I think Nurse, he is guilty of trying to do too much at times, trying to cover for everybody. And I think that's an issue that he's tried to resolve. And we've talked to Darnell a lot of times. And he's been, he's like, when I'm skating well, when I feel well, when I'm on the ice, I'm moving, I feel good. And for whatever reason, when he's not moving, he doesn't play as well, obviously. But I think he does have a tendency to say, oh, that guy in the corner got beat, I better go cover him, leave his guy in front of the net by himself, or things like that. Like it's one of those things, sometimes you just got to stay in your zone and trust those people around you to do their job. You can't, sometimes you have to, this is my guy, I had my guy. Sometimes you have to be that guy, I had my guy. Because if you don't have your guy, you go get someone else's guy, then your guy is going to be wide open.
I'm really intrigued to see how this Wallman-Nurse pairing works out. Because Jake Wallman probably, at least for a long time, going back a long ways, is probably the best defense partner that he'll have or that he has had.
Yeah.
It might just take some time because Wallman's a bit of a freewheeler too, right? So might take a little bit of adjustment, but he's not playing with, Chris Russell or, with due respect, somebody later in his career or that 1 year before they went out at the deadline and added, I think it was Kulikov.
Yeah.
But that year he played with Bear and Caleb Jones and
Did he get
Slater Cuckoo?
Yeah.
And he just
Did
played
he have
with
Barry
everyone
with him at all that year?
I
can't remember.
That might have been the next. Oh no, that probably was that year. So it might have been some Tyson Berry too. My memory's escaping me here, but
That was a while ago.
Yeah, but anyway, I think there could be something there. Just I think it'll take some time. And to go back to Bouchard, like I talked about the Florida comparison of just getting in. He is the poster boy of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, his playoff track record over the last 3-4 years is phenomenal. So you see a lot of these dips in the regular season, as you have with maybe some other guys in the team at large.
Yeah.
But he and this team will be judged in the playoffs. And so, a tough 8 games or part of tough 8 games or whatever is fair and is worth talking about. But I think with this team, it's like we have to keep talking about stuff because that's our job and writing and stuff. But the real chips and the real stories come in April. So
Norman at Combine texts and he goes, "Who do these two guests think they are? Common sense?" LOL, 110% correct. Hashtag Combine Crew. Thanks, Norm. Good to hear from you. Bouchard, this text says, it's out of Saskatchewan, it says, Bouchard is also being paid to be that player now. Money he has to live up to, whereas before he was beyond his paycheck. The money thing I always find interesting because ultimately you just want him to play the right way and do what they're like, play to their strengths, and they get paid what they get paid. I mean, but the money thing always factors in.
Well, because I think the money thing sets a standard, right? You're an $8 million defenseman, you're a $7 million defenseman, you're a $10 million defenseman. So you're slotted into what the expectations are for that standard. And I think that's where the money comes in is like, and it works both ways, right? Because the agents use that too. It's like, my guy's he had better numbers than this guy, so he should be a $10 million defenseman. Like you've set the bar and now you're expected to play at that bar. And that's what the bar is right now. And Bouchard's still, like, he's still developing. He's still going to get better. He's still going to, like, as good as he was in the playoffs last year, you're thinking this guy, could be something really, really special.
But he's 6 years into being a pro. He should have found out how to play consistently from day one.
No, well, what is it? 200 games or what? How many games
he's
he has?
Well beyond
he's well beyond that. But it's still like 200 games is like a starting point, right? And then that's what they say for defensemen, unless you're
Lane Hudson. Yeah, okay. From Kel McCarr.
For the money thing, it's the Darnell Nurse syndrome, right? Like if Darnell Nurse wasn't making 9.25, if he was making that 6-7 range, which is what he should have made if they didn't bridge him twice, and especially the second time prioritize Zach Cassian.
Whoopsies.
Yeah. People probably wouldn't have been having those conversations, and same with, and these guys make their money. Like you shouldn't begrudge them for making the money that they make. Like a lot of that is earned, and a lot of that is circumstance and whatever. And the same thing kind of happened with Evan Bouchard. And to be fair, like with the cap going up and up and up, like and we'll see how Nurse plays, of course. But that 9.25 is suddenly not so as bad as it obviously was, and by the end won't be that bad. And same with Bouchard, like 10.5. It's not that bad now, and in 4 years,
in relation to the cap,
right?
Yeah, it's all in relation to what the cap is. So
it's a time of adjustment.
But
collectively.
it's like Bouchard is high risk, high reward. Like there's two different types of Bouch bombs, right? That's what I tell people. There's a good Bouch bomb and a bad Bouch bomb.
Good point.
Right? And so you have to.
So.
Sometimes if you want the good Bouch bomb, you gotta live with the bad Bouch bomb.
But that to your point about that, like Chris Knobloch had always kind of said that. Yeah. But he didn't say that on. I gave him the out, and he didn't take that out on Long Island. So we can't have that anymore. And that's to your point. Like he's the number one defenseman. He's the guy now.
Yeah.
And he does have to play a little bit more consistently.
Yeah. And I do think that Mattias Ekholm not being the same Mattias Ekholm does play a factor as well. Like Mattias Ekholm, you've seen him get walked more this year than I think he did the first 3 years he was here. Like it was just, like he doesn't have that
first step isn't.
Yeah, the
there.
first step's not there. The shutdown speed's not there. The gap is not as good as it used to be. And you know what? And players are now like challenging him. They're like, it's Mattias Ekholm, 35-year-old. I'm taking this guy on. And you see him a lot of times. Teams like players are taking him on.
But it's a larger conversation. If Bouchard's making 10-5. And he's trying to get on Team Canada, and he's having those great playoffs.
No chance.
No, but
I know what you mean.
But shouldn't he be the one running that pair? Shouldn't he be the one, having, taking on maybe a less accomplished partner or what have you too,
point.
right? Yeah. So, and they had tried to do that a couple years ago when they were going to have Ekholm and Broberg to start the year, and Ekholm got hurt. Broberg couldn't figure out what to do with Broberg, and we all know what happened from there. It didn't work out. It was one game with him and Nurse together, and they lost 8-1 in Vancouver, and you almost never saw that pair.
Yeah. Well, they were like -2 before they had 3 shifts into their game that night. It was horrible.
That Vancouver goal song got stuck in my head that night, that's for sure.
Oh, man. Okay, a couple of texts to get to. This has been great. You got Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic joining us, as well as Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, right here on the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Jason texts in and says, after all these years, still looking for a D partner for Nurse. He's so overrated. And then this one from Raider Jesse says, I am not worried at all about Bouchard. He's a killer in the playoffs. He'll be fine as soon as the Olympic roster is posted and he doesn't make it. Just like the Four Nations Cup, he struggled before that team selection and then turned into playoff elite Bouchard. That one from Raider Jesse. And then this one in regard to money says money he has to live up to. Yes, we hit on that one. Okay, I have a text from Coach Mike. It's interesting. It's a good question. Coach Mike says, was this start predictable? Young players plus new players plus Knobloch blender equals disorganized and indecisive play. Is Knobloch just hoping the veterans squeak out some wins while the team gels? What would you guys say?
Well, no, I think that's very understandable, like considering the way they started the last 2 years. But I think, when you throw new characters in the mix and then you blend them, it's gonna take a while to kind of find the right recipe in the formula, right? And I think that's what they're doing right now. Like you came in, what is Savoy going to give you? What is Howard going to give you? What is Tomashek going to give you? Right? And there's a lot of questions of what can these guys provide because they weren't very sure. And then Trent Frederick. Okay, what's a healthy Trent Frederick going to give you? Right?
Where is he playing? Which wing? Which
where is he playing? What wing? What
Yeah.
position? How much did that foot affect him last year? So there were some question marks. So what you have with McDavid and Draisaitl. I think that's why they started those two together. You're missing a huge piece in Zach Hyman, right? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins off to a great start.
Yes, great start. He's moving his feet.
Yeah, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's got a new stick, I heard. So he's shooting the puck.
The
more.
Warrior Alpha LX3.
Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah,
I have one too.
He's firing that puck.
Great
shooting
stick.
So Yeah, when you have a new weapon, you want to use it. So he's shooting the puck a lot more.
That was a nice backhand last night.
No, it was a great roof backhand. Like I know they were hard on the goalie in Montreal, but two of the last 2 goals, they were roofed from like right in front of the crease. Like that's not easy to do, right? So
Work on your backhand, kids.
Yes,
it's
backhand
very important.
kids. And then what did they say? Sidney Crosby never had a real thick curve on his stick.
See that I don't care for. You can whatever blade you're good at using, go for it.
Yeah,
Because you can still. I mean, it's physics, man.
it's physics, I guess.
It's like how you can kick with your left and your right foot in soccer.
Some people can.
Yeah.
But
And now you can almost golf well.
no, we're not quite. Well, I'm getting better.
He's getting better.
I heard there was a great golf game in there. And then we had the Oilers tournament, and you said, "Oh man, I lost a lot."
He was peppering the
But
Glendale.
I was smart. So they gave us the sleeve of Oiler balls, DVD on the Oiler balls,
It's big,
and then people are like, "Hey, I found your ball. Hey, I found your ball.
Derek,
Hey, Derek, here's
Yes.
your ball." It's like great, I got him back. So that's many things. But no, it's an improvement. But I think there's a case there. Every year is a new year. Every year, like they talk about, it's a new team. You gotta find these players or find. And there were so many unknowns. Like to me, Tomáš's a good player. I think he can fit in. I think he can skate it. The one thing I was worried about is like, can he skate at this level? Usually, when you come from Europe, it's usually good skaters, but can you skate at this level? He can. I think he's a smart offensive player. He got good skills. So I think the more he gets into the game, I think the better off he'll be. I've been impressed with Savoy. He's been very, very good.
Yep.
He's got very good skills. He's a talented player.
Does he have
Like-
points in 2 straight now?
Yeah.
Ike Howard's coming along. I
Yeah,
think.
and Ike
Same.
Howard's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
along as well.
Good point.
So, and I look at Savoy, and I'm like, is Savoy going to be another guy that Buffalo gives up on? And turns out to be
I sure hope so,
good
for the
player.
sake of
For the
Oilers
sake of
fans.
the Oilers, Buffalo's almost become like a farm team to the rest.
Yeah.
They get rid of a guy, and the guy goes and stars somewhere else. I'm like,
I know the end was kind of coming here for Ryan McLeod, but he has been pretty good in Buffalo. Actually,
Yeah.
people I talked to in Buffalo say he's been really good there.
Great
And he got a really nice contract
Yeah.
too, of course. But to your point, DVD, like half the forward group is new. Half. Like they're working in half a new forward. Like it's not a couple guys. That's a lot. And like one guy you didn't mention, like Andrew Mangiapane, like he was in like third, fourth line most of the year in
Nice goal
Washington.
last night,
Yeah.
too.
Right. So you obviously had a track record in Calgary, but people there say like that the one time he did get 35 goals, that was a statistical anomaly. Like that was never going to happen again. But there's a player there. They targeted him because of his flexibility, because they thought there was a bigger role there that he could take than what he was given in Washington. Like he didn't get any special teams time in Washington, and he's been on the penalty kill. Knobloch's always said there's a power play guy there, but obviously we haven't seen it, and we know what the second power play
there
is.
is no second power play.
Game winner in Ottawa, if you want to even call it that.
I guess, yes.
fair
The
play.
first power play, you didn't even come off the ice yesterday. I know they played.
I think
a couple of times they played back-to-back power plays because they played the whole 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They
I
got the
remember
second power play. Oh, yeah, they came back out for the second one.
I do remember that second unit getting about 30 seconds somewhere, but anyway, like it's just hard to integrate that many new players. It'll take some time, but I think there's something there in the forward mix, and again, I think they will be adding. That's the area you're probably adding, aside from, of course, goaltending if it needs to get to that point, and looking at what the situation is there. And of course, Connor Ingram's now up, starting to play in Bakersfield too, right?
So no, I think it is. And then obviously you're missing a huge chunk with Zach Hyman up there. And it's going to take Zach Hyman a bit to get up to speed, right? So he just started practicing with the team on Wednesday. I think he was
That's a
the
good
optional
sign.
skate. So
Yeah.
So he's back practicing with the team, holding a stick. That's a big part of your offense. So once you get him in the mix, then everyone I think can start slotting in where they kind of belong. But listen, we're 6 games in, 7 games in. I know 8 games in. People like to panic. Oh my God, they're not 8-1 or not 7-1 or 8-0. Like relax. Like there's a long season. There's a lot of hockey to be played, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. It doesn't matter how you start; it's how you finish, right?
DMB, I think that was a good point that you made a little bit earlier, where you're like, maybe they're in Florida Panthers mode, and it's just get to the playoffs and then dial it in. I think there's some truth to that for sure. Okay, let's go to Lars Y. He sent this in earlier. I'm sorry, Lars, I missed it earlier. Gents, I hear all the discussion around the opposition to Draisaitl and McDavid on the penalty kill. My question is, do any of the reporters in the scrums ever bring this topic up and get a reason for them on the PK, or is it a taboo? You guys have been at the rink more than me. I haven't had a chance to be down there as much as I usually am. That'll change once football is over, but how much has that come up? I can't really recall.
Probably not a lot recently, but like when Knobloch was talking about them doing it or him wanting to try that in the preseason, that was certainly a bit of a talking point for a couple of days there. You know, I'm not crazy about it in the sense of just trying to integrate more guys into like having roles and finding kind of usefulness for them. The other thing I don't particularly like about it is, you know, under every coach, Tippett, Woodcroft, Knobloch, those guys were the ones after successful penalty kills or even unsuccessful penalty kills, but to get right on the ice and start an attack, maybe against a tired power play unit, maybe against some lesser, you know, players that aren't on the power play or whatever. And you're kind of taking away a really good offensive opportunity or push right after a PK. So you've barely been able to see those two guys after PKs. I think last game there was like a quick 30, 40 second shift by another line, and then they got out again. But McDavid's ice time is up, right? Like it's I'm not sure about Draisaitl's. I imagine it would be, but
I think he's right around
there. I mean, you're gonna, like Derek explained earlier, it's a long season.
Yeah.
And both those guys are playing in the Olympics. They're not getting that reprieve.
No.
Late middle of the season there. Kind of need to be, I think, a little bit mindful of their ice time and what all that they're doing. But yeah, like you're taking out like Podkolzin now has no special teams time. Frederick basically doesn't. I know he's kind of on that second power play per se,
sure.
but like there's some guys that you could probably use. And Frederick did kill penalties in Boston. We haven't seen him do that in Edmonton, but there's some guys that could be used a little bit more that really aren't. So I didn't really answer the question. It's probably something that could be addressed a little bit more. But they do like, I guess, the attack of those guys on the PK, and there've been a few chances with McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice.
Yeah, they create a
killers.
threat. Yeah, they create a
for
threat. They're going the other way. I think it'll become an issue if they start giving up some goals, though. Right?
I mean, the PK wasn't lights out or anything like that to start there. I'm going to look it up where they're at right now. The 1-for-1 yesterday, by the way.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But if they start, you know, the PK, your first responsibility is keep puck out of your net before you try to put the puck in their net. Mm-hmm. So I know that they like that. I like the idea of those guys coming out at the tail end of the power play, like when maybe your power play guys are a little tired, have been on the ice for a little bit, and then you can kind of attack with those guys. But usually your second peak power play unit has two defensemen on it, as opposed to most teams' first power play unit has one defenseman on it. So maybe they're looking at that's where we want to attack.
God, this app is awful, by the way. Why did you make it like this?
Sorry.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of the times they're second over the boards, McDavid and Draisaitl. So they're in the middle of that PK, and they're not able to do that. To your point, if they were, maybe if Knobloch and you know, Mark Stewart can start incorporating them later in penalty kill, it might be a little bit more advantageous. But yeah, they seem to be the second duo over the boards a lot of times.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'm looking up the stats. Continue.
Power play stats.
The PK, yeah. But like I went to the NHL app and I'm like, this is the stats section of the NHL app sucks. I just have to go into a browser. My goodness. Why did you do it like that, Derek? How dare you?
Derek's just the guy.
I'm just the guy.
Just the guy doing his thing.
I think Jack Michaels was mad at me last year.
Oh, Jack
he almost
got
threw the
very
phone
upset.
at me.
Yes, he did. He started yelling at you.
He started yelling at me like I'm the app designer. I'm like, I just work for
Yeah, it's all you, buddy.
if I have trouble with Ticketmaster, I don't yell at Jack.
You should. Just give him a dose of his own medicine.
You know,
Okay, Edmonton's PK is at 81% now. That is 13th in the NHL. Let's see where it's at. At home, the PK. Nashville's still at 100%. So is New Jersey. Very impressive. Edmonton 85.7 at home. That's good for 10th. And then on the road, the PK is 16th. So they're kind of middle of the pack, just above middle of the pack.
I mean, that's better than they were last year.
Well, they dipped to what, 27th at one point?
Better than they were in the playoffs.
Playoffs was horrendous.
Which is very odd given the basically, I think they brought everyone back, although they didn't. Derek Ryan fell out of favor pretty quickly last year. I'm talking about from the 24 playoffs when they were amazing on the PK.
Yeah.
4 goals on the PK all playoffs.
Right.
In 25 games.
Well, they have like a stretch of 21 or 22 straight that they killed off.
That sounds right. I can't remember that statistic, but they brought everyone back essentially minus Derek Ryan, and then kind of used Podkolzin and eventually brought in Kapanen as well. But same personnel, same coaching staff, and it just was not the same. So
no
they needed to
execution.
They needed to kind of change stuff up. And Nabok was pretty open late after the playoffs about there would be personnel changes, and he's been true to his word on that. So
True. A little bit of an aside here. Do you guys, think Matthew Schaefer is on the preliminary roster for the Canadian Olympic team?
That's a little early.
Is that a good start to
He's
his
off to a
NHL
good
career?
start, but he's young. He's a little. I don't think so. He's he looks like. Yeah, he's off to a great start. It looks like he's the real deal, but you're asking.
How do you crack that lineup?
I'll say if Sidney Crosby can't make Team Canada at 18,
Yeah,
Olympic team at 18, good point. If Matthew Schaefer,
yeah, especially on the blue line.
Yeah, who do you have on there? You've got
I
all the
don't
guys
think
coming
so.
back from Shea Theodore. I'm assuming you're bringing back Thomas Harley.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cale Makar. Who am I forgetting here?
Josh Morrissey. will be
Josh
on that
Morrissey,
team.
Drew Doughty.
Yeah, Drew Doughty's had a really good start of the year.
Yeah, like he's evolved, hasn't he?
Hockey Canada likes Drew Doughty.
They love Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty.
I like Drew Doughty.
No,
Everyone loves Drew
I'm
Doughty.
not- yeah.
Drew Doughty will be on that team. So I don't think there's a lot of spots open, to be honest. For that.
Yeah, but you're talking about preliminary roster. It's just like I think the preliminary rosters were due the week after the season started, right? Like they have to declare their, I think it's 45 skaters or 5 goals or something.
45, yeah.
And that's not a lot of runway for somebody.
Schaefer.
Now he did get off to he had hit the ground running immediately.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't say it's completely out of the realm of possibility that he's on the preliminary roster, but for him to make the team would be a very tough task or tall task.
I mean, if you're the Canadian management team, how do you not just go, here's our Four Nations face-off roster, and then we'll add some extra guys and see how they do kind of thing?
You would think it would be pretty close to that group.
Yeah. I mean, that was great hockey, that's for sure. All right. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. You can text us 780-218-9999. You can also get into the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about EST. It is your clear choice for sports in Edmonton. Tom Gazzola alongside Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic, as well as Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. We're going to get to Play Alberta over under. Play Alberta, presenting sponsor of Edmonton Sports Talk. And if you are betting, sprinkling on World Series, Oilers, Elks, maybe basketball, NFL, use your game sense as always. We're gonna switch gears to baseball here. I know you're a Toronto kid, right?
I'm from the burbs, Mississauga, Ontario. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sure,
went to a lot of Jays games as a kid. Yeah.
Yes. Good. This is a huge night in baseball, a huge night for Toronto and then Canadian supporters of Toronto's team, as I like to call it. Over under 5.5 games the World Series will need. We'll start there. I'll go to you, DVD.
I say over. I think it'll go at least 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers will win. That lineup is just too stacked, and I don't think the Jays have the depth to compete. I think the Jays have a good lineup. I don't think they have depth, but I think they do have enough to win 2 games.
Yeah, I think it would be closer than people think. But I mean, the Dodgers to me seem like the clear favorite.
Well, it's like all-star, ace, all-star, slugger,
admittedly,
legend.
These games go on at 5:00 during the year, and I've got 2 little kids, so it's been tough to watch Blue Jays games during the year. But I've watched a fair bit of the playoffs. That bullpen kind of scares me every time. Every time the bullpen comes up, I'm like, oh boy, what's going to
They're
happen
so
here?
quick to go to it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the issue I have.
But what I do like, and what I think is the Jays have going for them is like they have a lot of guys that can put forth a quality at bat.
Mm-hmm.
They don't strike out a lot. They can hit for power, but they put the ball in play. They're decent on the base pass. Like they're smart base runners, which was years back was kind of an issue I think with this team. So I think they'll be all right. But when you got, I know baseball is more than a one-person sport, but like that game Ohtani had to finish that Dodgers series, like hits 3 home runs, strikes out 10, 6 shutout innings.
No
It's
big
like
deal.
it's like a little league guy that like is just the best guy. But, oh, it's a major leagues, right?
but
Like,
It's like
It was
Dominican
the
kid
move-
who's 14 and playing against 10-year-olds.
But it was the moon shots. Like he hit it like holy cow, just unloaded on those 3. It's like
Yeah.
And I showed him. I don't know if you've ever seen this video. Ohtani when he was in Japan hit a ball out of the Tokyo Dome.
Yes.
He hit it
Found
through
like a small slot in
in
the
the
roof.
Tokyo Dome, and everyone didn't know where the ball went. No one knew where the ball went. And suddenly it was gone, and he's running around the bases, and everyone's like, the ball just disappeared. And it just went through a small slot in the Tokyo Dome. Like the power is unbelievable. But and then if you can pitch 6 innings,
Like he's not even their best pitcher, so they have other great pitchers.
Well, yeah.
And then they have like in their lineup they have got an MVP guy in Mookie Betts and another MVP caliber guy and like Freddie Freeman and some other. And it's just like
Muncy.
who are those guys? Like so those are your second, third, fourth. You go down the list and you've got Ohtani. Like so, I think it is tough. And the one thing for the Jays that's is a little bit of a wild card is obviously bring Bo Bichette back and what he's gonna be able to.
Where do you put him?
To contribute.
Yeah.
Just like how is his knee? How can he run? How can he field? All that stuff. And after a month off or whatever it is, more than a month off, how can he hit? Like so a little bit of wild card there.
Savage versus Snell in game 1. Snell's been just a giant in the playoffs so far. Savage is like the most amazing story in MLB this year. Starts in single A, works his way up, and now he's starting game 1 of the World Series. I don't know. Is the moment too big for this guy? Like, what do you think of them going to Savage in game 1 and being like, all right, here you go, kid?
well, you're throwing them to the wolves. Like you really are. Like it's sink or swim, buddy. It's like taking your toddler and throwing him in the pool and say, I hope he floats.
I can't do that. No, I'm not doing that.
Did you see how he sat up when he said that?
I've seen him do it. Throw it in the pool.
Go get him, kid.
Go get him, kid. Or they do the dunking underneath thing.
I just don't think they have too many other options, though, right?
They don't. I was surprised they didn't
People
go.
are saying they're surprised they didn't go back to Gosman.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go
game.
Gosman. To be honest, in the game 1 start, you're throwing a kid to the wolves. Let's say if he does play great, it's a great story. But if he gets shelled, let's say he doesn't make it out of the first inning. With that lineup, you're facing that lineup.
Yeah, and
He's
you're
gotta
burning
go
up some
through-
arms pretty quickly there.
And suddenly you talk about the bad bullpen. You got to go through it right away.
They use Bassett out of the bullpen, and he could go for a while, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess unless they have a backup plan if things don't go well. But sometimes when you're young, you're cocky and you're naive.
Ignorance is bliss,
Yeah,
man.
it is. Ignorance is bliss. But when you hit if you give up a moonshot to Ohtani, he hits it into the 5th deck, then you're like, oh, Jesus. That could be your welcome to the majors moment right there, right?
Yeah.
It's
But
pitching to
they,
him.
But they just don't. To me, that's where I think, like you look at the quality depth that the Dodgers have in their starting rotation versus the Blue Jays, and it's not. There's not really a comparison. Like their number 3 starter, based on how they were able to line up their ALCS starting rotation, is Shane Bieber, and he's coming back from Tommy John. Like he's only pitched a few times. Then they had Scherzer, who they didn't even have on their previous division series roster. And you mentioned Bassett, like he's not in the, like they're just these and Barrios has been hurt and not in the picture, so these options are just getting dwindled down to a guy who started the year in single A. And then there's some Marcus Stroman vibes, like going back a decade
Stroh
now, unbelievably now. That 2015 team, but the guy that just kind of rose near the end of the year, or I can't remember how prominent he was at the start of that year, but he just kind of rose up and kind of took the. He was starting game 1s of playoffs, I remember, and there's a little bit of that.
I wouldn't mind seeing Scherzer in game 1. Just throw him out. Okay, there you go. This is your moment. Like, you would have been fired up for that. And I think to me, the starts I've seen with Max Scherzer this year, he gets so fired up in the first inning. And Max is just, and then it gets out of hand, and then he kind of settles in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good now. So I wouldn't have minded seeing that.
I think you maybe want to use them on the road, right? Where it's maybe
perhaps in LA, one of those 3 games in LA.
Even more motivated. This one from Parkside says it's like throwing your toddler in the pool after he just swam laps in an Olympic-sized pool the last couple of weeks. Yeah,
maybe, but we'll
maybe
see.
there's sharks in this pool or something.
Exactly.
There's piranhas.
It's a little different pool. I get the Dodgers. You look at that lineup and you go, oof. Not a lot
know.
of gaps in that lineup.
Now Reed talked about it earlier in the show, and Jay Milne had brought it up on the Reid Wilkins show earlier in the week. There's this stat where teams, since the championship series were expanded to 7 games, I think it was 95. There's been 4 instances where a team has swept one of the championship series and then faced a team that went to Game 7 of their series. And the team that went to Game 7 has won every World Series over the team that swept their championship series. This is that exact same scenario. Is it 5 in a row now? Like, is there some magic to that?
Well, Dodgers have had a lot of time off, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like what the Blue Jays had going into the ALCS.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Like they struggled the first 2 games, right? Like they got crushed.
They got hammered first 2 games. So and baseball's an everyday game. You play it every day, and so now you
Jays recovered miraculously, but
Although there has been a lot of time, like the Jays finished up Monday and the series is starting
That's
Friday. So
interesting
it's a
to
little.
me. It was like the long time between waits. Like you're taking all that momentum and then you're making everyone sit on it. Surprised they didn't say at least Thursday. Like
probably better for TV because then you don't have something Sunday, which is big football day or something too, right?
Yeah.
And they. Like it's the same with like the cup final. Like there's usually a few day break, a few days of a break rather. You know,
to get it all fired up. But
it's all TV and league and stuff.
TV has ruined sports.
but it's also made it better in so many ways. It's a double-edged
It's
sword.
funny. I was watching the other day. You know, back in the day where you had the games on TV and just press one channel. You can go from game to game to game. Now that everything's streamed, you gotta get out of this game, find the menu, go to the next game.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh my God.
We've made this so complicated.
Yeah, it's made
And monetized every little thing. So that part of it is a total pain in the ass. How about this
So
one?
what's the show sponsored by today?
The show presented by Sentinel Storage. You can get a month free. They have a promo running right now. Great partner of the EST Hangout. Also, EST presented by Play Alberta. Thank you, Daniel Nugent-Bowman. You've caught on very quickly.
First time. I figured it out fast.
Yeah. Also, if you're thirsty and you need a beverage to enjoy the World Series, try the Finnish Long Drink, the official drink partner of the Hangout. Kate, this is kind of a funny thing. It is related to the World Series. You're a Toronto guy. You've been to Toronto so many times. I've been there a bunch of times, so we kind of have an understanding.
I lived briefly in Toronto.
You lived briefly in Toronto. I apologize for forgetting that. Huge Paul Mateer fan. I totally forgot. Wow, my bad.
I'm just saying.
People who live downtown Toronto, apparently it's like going to be a nightmare for them. And I think we had Keegan Matheson on or somebody the other day, and they said that after the clincher for the World Series, like it just turned into a mess. And the joke was, I feel bad for whoever ordered Skip the Dishes or Uber Eats and lived downtown when that party was going on.
First world problem.
Yeah,
Totally. I can't get my skip.
Worth a chuckle. But like, what do you think it's going to be like in and around Toronto for the next week and a bit?
Well, just kind of judging by what happened with the Raptors, and that was 6 years ago, and a lot changes in the world in 6 years. I mean, that was pre-COVID too, but like, things just get, I haven't been to downtown Toronto in a couple of years. I've been to Ontario a few times, to Southern Ontario and cottage country and all that, but it just seems like everything's more and more congested there. So
the towers that have been built in the last few years, you're just like, what the hell happened?
The Gardner is always under construction.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think when you have a series of this magnitude, like the Blue Jays haven't been in the World Series in 32 years. So like I do remember the Carter home run, but things change a lot, like I was saying, and I think downtown is a lot more congested. There's a lot more people there. There's a lot of people that either are trying to get into the stadium, or if they can't, there's a lot more watch parties than there ever used to be. There are a lot more kind of public events and things, or gatherings. Good luck food delivery people and and people who want the food. So for sure.
It's gonna be tough. And ticket. I don't even know how much tickets would be. I think Rob Ford mentioned something about gouging the other day or something like that. He wasn't gonna go because he could afford.
You could do whatever the hell you want with them, sure. And like, there's just an unquenchable thirst to be in and around that stadium, and I understand it. And I kind of laughed when I saw in the ninth inning the other night when the Jays are trying to close it out. Grown ass men our age, like in their Jays head to toe gear, like going like this, and like for those that are listening, I've got my hands like pointed towards the infield, and like eyes wide open and just like shivering and shuddering and scared, and I was like, I kind of get it.
No.
So it's huge, it's monumental, and
well, that's the beauty of postseason baseball. It's like you're hanging on every pitch. Like it's just unbelievable. Every pitch you're hanging on. Like you don't usually when you watch baseball, you don't really pay attention until something happens. We've been to ballparks. It's the greatest experience.
Well, it's so much fun
because it's so relaxing. You're not intently watching the game. You're watching. Oh,
this is different.
But this is different.
Yeah.
Like on every pitch, you're hanging on every pitch. And
well, let me ask you, like to your point about that, the little hand gestures.
Like seriously, like this.
That shows how into it they are, how much they have invested.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, maybe financially, but certainly emotionally. I don't recall the last time I was like, and part of it is obviously being in this industry, but like being that invested in an outcome or that caring that much in an outcome. Did you guys have
well, I was with Canada at the World Cup. That was a big thing.
You were covering it. You were supposed to be
No, but
objective.
the World Cup is different. And when you go to the World Cup, and I realized this is my first World Cup covering it, is that, you're still rooting for your country to win. And that's why some journalists will literally wear their jerseys in the press box or in the press area.
Oh, that's a big
and that's something I was like,
the Russian Federation for hockey.
World Championships, they were singing and smoking. And when I was there in Helsinki, my videographer, she's like, I can't stand this. I'm leaving. I'm going to the press room.
Yeah.
Those guys were hammered and they were like, grazie. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
I kind of started to understand it because I saw it, and then you want your team to succeed, and you're emotionally invested. Yeah, but it's sports are kind of a getaway from your mundane everyday life. Like you want to be invested in something. You want something to root for, and then finally after 32 years, you get like I remember those. I remember those Blue Jay teams well in the 90s. I was going to high school.
Yeah.
So I was in high school, and I was a huge fan of those teams, and so to see them succeed again.
I'll tell you two for me. 2010 Olympics, the golden goal. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That was like early in my broadcast career. I think I was still doing news in Lloyd at that time. And then I had a few libations when we were doing the Four Nations face-off. We were just watching it. Not my assignment. And after the whole build-up, Canada-US, I got pretty into it.
That was fun because there was just that political element to it.
There was everything
built up to it. And
I'll admit that
tournament was a lot better than anyone suspected. Yeah. And I remember people saying, "Oh, it's going to be like a glorified All-Star game," and no, it wasn't. There was a lot on the line there. When you put that national team jersey on, whatever it is, there's that pride, that sense of pride.
I get the
right.
The
Olympics when the basketball in France when the Canadian team was doing so well,
and they kind of got jobbed by the refs.
Yeah, and Shea was just lighting it up. Like it was. They take pride in that.
Yeah, your point about the 2010 Olympics, that's a good one. But I think maybe for me it was 2002.
That was a great one
because they lost that first game 5-0, 5-1, whatever. They got
to Sweden. They got their asses kicked.
I remember my dad was just like, "There's no way they're going to win a gold medal," and I was like, "I will bet you that." They and I did. And so I was kind of riding, and I was like, "Oh boy, they didn't finish high enough because they had tied Germany or Czechs or something. I think they tied Germany maybe and just barely beat the Czechs
they
or
had
vice versa.
Really tough game against the Czechs, and that was when Wayne Gretzky came out.
And I was like, oh boy, they're not going to get a good draw. But then Belarus beat Sweden in that
game.
Thank you,
Tommy Salo.
And that paved the way for them to go right to the final, essentially, with due respect to Belarus. But when they beat the States, I was like, okay. I had something on that game. And, I sound like it's Jerry Camber, but I was in high school. It's a little different.
Yeah, but you were still probably taking notes, and you were wearing a blazer to school, and be like, I find that Canada's defense has been inept. I'm just kidding, DMB. I'm just.
But the thing is
Eric Brewer was very good.
There's an entire generation has never seen the Blue Jays win. We were lucky. Just like here in Edmonton, there's an entire generation has never seen the Oilers win. That's. Even going back to 2006, that was people were so excited. They still
talk about 06, and they lost.
They lost. So they're gonna talk about these two runs unless you finish it off. But it's just a matter of feeling a sense of something, being part of something. So
I don't want to get us off track, but that's that's funny you mentioned.
There's
like,
no track on this show, by the way.
Okay, well, we'll go around in circles.
There you
but
go.
No, like 06, like that was a Cinderella team that
totally
everyone loved,
Cinderella.
right? And this team's not that, right?
No.
They need to be the finishers. So it's like a different, maybe the first time because they finally got, like I'm talking about 2024.
Yeah.
Like they got there, they came all the way back from 03 down in the final of this, but like now 2 times to the final, whatever. There's no
Yeah, the
there's no second
expectations-
place.
It's-
Their
Yes, let's
expectations
go.
are there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then it was a complete Cinderella run. Everything kind of broke their way all the way to the final, and they just couldn't get it done.
There was some good coaching, and guys rose to the occasion in 06. There's no denying that. And there was the magic of the Coliseum. Dex texting in said, Dex, I didn't know you played for the Blue Jays, won more games than the Dodgers this year. Shrug. I don't think things are as simple as you guys think. I don't know. We talked about a million different things in regard to this World Series, didn't we not?
Well, I mean, the Brewers are the best team by record in the majors, and
And the Dodgers just
made-
swept them aside.
yeah,
They were-
so the Dodgers are the Florida Panthers of the.
I think so. Just get into the playoffs, and we'll be,
I don't know.
It's not
I don't know.
understand
I think,
ourselves.
like I said, I think the Blue Jays are going to make this go pretty competitive. But
when you look down in the depth, when you get deeper into your rotation, when you get deeper into your bullpen, I think that's when you get. See, I think what the strength of the Jays is that they have strength, and once one guy gets hit, they can string hits together, and they kind of all get going. Dodgers can do that too, but they get guys that can just change a game.
Dodgers just hit home run.
Completely.
The next guy gets up, home run, then Ohtani, then home run, Freeman, Muncy.
Like you can't pitch
Bats.
around any of those guys.
No.
You can't pitch around Ohtani because then you're facing all those other guys. Like it's such an impressive lineup. And I saw the Dodgers play earlier this season. We were in LA.
Yep.
It was the playoffs. Were you at that game? Or you didn't
I
come.
was not that day. Yeah, I've been to Dodger Stadium a few
Yeah.
times.
So we went to during the playoffs in the first round. The Dodgers were playing, so we actually landed and pretty much went almost straight from the airport to Dodger Stadium. But actually just dropped my bag off and went straight to Dodger Stadium. Met up with the guys.
Classic.
So it was
Veteran
great.
move.
I love that. I've been there like 10 times. I've been to Dodger Stadium more than I've been to Rogers Place or Rogers Center or whatever they call Skydome now.
I thought you meant this arena.
No,
here.
no,
I was
no,
like,
no.
whoa, that's a lot.
Whatever it's called. What are they called now? Rogers Center?
Skydome. Skydome.
It's always going to be Skydome. I
like
agree. It should be called Rogers Skydome.
Well, I mean, that makes too much sense. I listen, I know that Rogers owns the team and they have their name on the building, and that's what you pay for because it gets broadcast to millions and millions and millions of people. I have an appreciation for Jay Onright emphasizing Skydome every time he talks about that ballpark.
He doesn't have the contractual obligations
No,
that
correct.
other people might.
It's always going to be Skydome but it's I haven't been there since they renovated it and made it look really nice.
have?
Like
No,
a
I haven't.
baseball.
No.
It looks
Like a
looks
baseball. It's a
yeah.
baseball park now, right?
Good.
It's not.
The vibes in that place, I'm not a big vibes guy, but are so different when the dome's open compared to when it's shut. And I know
have
this
been there
year,
for that, yeah.
at this time of year, rather
They'll shut
probably
it,
need to have it shut a lot of time. But like a summer game with the dome open is great.
Yeah.
When it's I've been there for 15, 20,000 people in the barn with it closed, and it's like it's not the
Yeah,
place
it's
to be.
the same,
So,
yeah.
It's like the Expos in 2003.
Oh,
no, not that bad.
Did you watch the? We have like
it's good.
2 minutes.
Yes, I saw it.
What did you think of the Expos documentary?
It was interesting. Yeah, I mean, I remember them leaving. I remember kind of Jeffrey Loria buying the team and like how kind of bizarre and how that seemed like their fate was sealed by that point. But yeah, there's some kind of interesting facets to that. And everyone talks obviously about the 94 strike and how that maybe was the first blow to them, a real strong blow. But I didn't realize, or it was a very small part of the documentary, but how quickly they dismantled that team right after. Like they went
I didn't know that either.
from first to
The
worst,
last, yeah.
basically.
They traded their 4 best players.
Yeah, I didn't realize it went downhill that fast, but yeah, it was interesting for sure.
The one thing I took away from that one, it was 2 things. Well, a couple of things. One, there wasn't no local ownership stood up to buy the team, so that they were doomed. Then 2, no government was not going to help them build a new ballpark.
The Lucien
And they
Bouchard stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy.
They needed a new ballpark.
Yeah, good
and
stuff.
the minute they moved in the Olympic Stadium, they should have said, "Yeah, it's not working." Like that place was cavernous. I've been there. Like it's like It's a big
I've never been
white
but yeah,
elephant
yeah.
on the outskirts of
It
Montreal.
is getting an
They-
$850 million renovation,
it's
so that's
ridiculous.
cool.
They should. What they should do is put just blow it up and start again.
But they said it'll cost more to do that because of the LRT infrastructure below it.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. Like they needed a downtown ballpark, and that would have and brought investments and brought investors but they needed strong local ownership, and I think you need that, and I think that's what the Oilers have, and that's why they've been successful. So you need that strong local ownership, and then you bring in sponsors and things like that, and they didn't get it in Montreal, which is at the time I guess there wasn't that kind of money in Montreal. So
Well, it's called Who Killed the Expos, and at the end of it, I'm not gonna. This is not a spoiler. Everybody pointed fingers at everybody else.
it was your fault. Your fault. Your
Yeah,
fault.
exactly.
Your fault.
It's the Spider-Man meme. Yeah. So it is fascinating, and the interviews all these years, 23, 22 years, 21 years later. Since they moved.
Yeah.
And the last year of the Expos was the last year of Edmonton Trappers. Edmonton was the AAA affiliate of the Expos that year. Just a little tie in there. How was your first experience on the Hangout?
I think I hung out pretty well.
I would say you did, yeah.
I
Good
even
stuff.
remind you about sponsors. We got some hockey talk. We got some baseball talk. I think it went
trying to
well.
figure it out.
But you mean that's your call. You're the judge.
Well, you'll be back.
Okay,
That's the sign. That's the blessing right there. DVD, great stuff as always, buddy.
Well, I'm glad I didn't come in for the second half. I kind of had a couple interviews to do earlier on this morning. So
Well done, boys. That was a lot of fun. A big thank you to everybody who tuned in, texted in. You know we appreciate you so very, very much. Coming up next, it's The Lock Shop with Lieutenant Eric, filling in for Dusty. He'll be on with Hustler, and then a full slate of shows as always. You're going to get EST Afternoons with Hernan and Joaquin, and then the Reid Wilkins show with Reid and Jay, and then we've got the Green and Gold kickoff show as the Elks close out their season against the Stampeders tonight. It'll be Jay and Matthew for that one, and then I'll be on the sidelines for the game. So be sure to tune in. Keep it locked on EST. For DNB, Lieutenant Eric, Reid, and DVD, I'm Tom saying have a good one.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanek, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.